spectrum.com for full details. Sloman's Home Security. The difference is human. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters. Visit peerlessboilers.com to find a dealer near you. VIP Honda in North Plainfield, New Jersey. Margaret Teets Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Laborers Local 731. Feel the power. And by Wendy's new Saucy Nugs. A whole new way to nug. And now, here's Pat McCarthy.
After being shut out yesterday, the Mets get another shot at a series win as they wrap up this four-game set against the Atlanta Braves this afternoon. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Nissan Mets pregame show. I'm Pat McCarthy. Well, it's been a very active trade deadline for the New York Mets, and still 2 days to go before Major League Baseball's trade deadline. Carlos Mendoza has a new piece in the bullpen in Ryan Stanek, and last night he got a new piece in the outfield in Jesse Winker being acquired from the Washington Nationals. And earlier today, Carlos sat down with Keith Radd on today's Manager Show.
All right, Carlos, we wake up today for the finale against the Braves, and Jesse Winker is a New York Met. He was traded for, I guess, late last night, and he's here today and available. I mean, what was your reaction when you found out from David that you guys got Winker?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't find out till this morning because we were waiting for medicals and things. I knew we had something on the table, but then not till this morning when I woke up and I had a text, late last night. Excited to have him. I've seen him for years now, especially as recent now when he was with the Nationals and the way he's swinging the bat this year. I know he's been through a lot the past couple of years with injuries, but make some adjustments in the offseason, and we've seen that type of hitter, where not only he's controlling the strike zone, but he's hitting for power. He's going to give you a quality at bat. So excited to have him, and he's here ready to go.
How do you anticipate using him? Because I know he's an outfielder, but maybe not always a right fielder. What's your plan? Yeah,
he'll play corner outfield. Depending on where we are each day, try to keep him in left when we need to. He hasn't played the outfield in quite a bit now. But this will allow me to give guys like J.D. Martinez a break, Mark Vientos, Iglesias, especially when we're facing righties. I could have a rotation there and keep guys fresh somehow. So, and then, when he's not in the lineup, He's a pinch hit off, a bat off the bench that is going to give you a quality at bat. So he'll get in there, and like I said, he allows me to give guys a break here and there.
Speaking of which, J.D. Martinez scuffling a little bit at the plate. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, look, he's grinding. He's grinding, and like I just said, we've been riding him pretty hard. And this is a guy that we need to monitor because of, the past couple of years and the injuries, especially with the lower back. Right now, he's fine, but we have to watch him. He had a big hit for us the other day with the grand slam. I think he's getting close. He went through a stretch where, he was off a little bit, but that's part of a big league player. You're going to go through some ups and downs. The one thing from him is he's going to give you he's going to post, he's going to be there, and he's going to show up, he's going to work. So yeah, he'll be fun.
Update on Harrison Bader.
Good. So he should be a player off the bench today. So he's got to go through a base running progression. He went through BP and all that yesterday, but didn't run the bases. So the last hurdle was, let's make sure he's good to go. Let's put him on the bases. So he's doing that right now, and he should be a player for us today.
And then to get Winker here, you had to make a move on the roster. DJ Stewart or Ben Gamel, it seems, sent Stewart out and kept Gamel. And even though we've seen Stewart a lot more in the everyday lineup, why the decision to keep Gamel here?
Yeah, look, we got to get DJ going. And there wasn't going to be many at-bats here with Winker. So I think sending him down to AAA so he can get everyday at-bats and trying to get him going here was number one. And then two, the versatility of Ben Gamel that can play the three outfield spots that you could use him as a pinch runner as well. Another lefty bat there, but just the versatility.
I know that you probably know more than you let on as far as the maybe the moves and the phone calls behind the scenes with David Stearns and the trade deadline, but do you find yourself that phone buzzes? You get a little excited every once in a while here these couple days?
Yeah, there's a lot going on, not only through the phone, but the conversations, there's a lot of text when I go home. David comes here and, he keeps me in the loop. And yeah, there's a lot of names. I know they're busy, just like every front office right now. It seems like there's a lot of action going on, and we still got, a couple of days. So it'll be interesting here the next 48 hours.
Thanks, Carlos.
Yeah, you got it.
That was Mets manager Carlos Mendoza along with Keith Radd on this afternoon's Manager Show. Coming up on the Nissan Mets pregame show, we'll check out yesterday's electrifying play of the game. We'll head back to right around the trade deadline in 2001 on this date in Mets history, and my conversation with the first-round pick of the New York Mets in this year's draft, Carson B, on the leadoff spot. That's all coming up next when we return to Citi Field on the Nissan Mets pregame show. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Back to Queens after the break on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
Are you or a loved one living with Crohn's, colitis, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, or a chronic health condition that requires IV medication? Check out ThriveWell Infusion. Say hello to state-of-the-art private luxury suites. ThriveWell Infusion understands that it can be stressful when receiving an infusion, but it doesn't have to be. At ThriveWell, you'll be provided with exceptional care, comfort, compassion, and convenience. Visit us at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives drip by drip.
Our world is full of emerging technology, which can be great.
Hi, I'm an AI virtual assistant.
But too much technology can be kinda scary.
I can figure out time travel.
At Hyundai, we're including user-friendly intuitive technology on all our 2024 models, like complimentary BlueLink Plus, which can help you locate your car, start it remotely, even adjust the temperature inside. We also offer available technology like Digital Key, so if your keys go missing, you can use your phone to access your Hyundai.
I can access your phone, your home, your inner thoughts.
Our technology is friendly.
I have to go. Disrupt the space-time continuum. Talk later.
Without being terrifying. User-friendly intuitive technology. From Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile.
Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 2.99% APR for 60 months, or up to $1,250 bonus cash. See your local Hyundai dealer today. Call 661-615-2112 for details.
Your roof is the biggest layer of protection your home offers.
Protect your roof with GAF Timberline HDZ shingles from Riverhead Building Supply.
Visit a store to explore colors, features, and warranty details, and learn about the technologies developed to help protect your roof from wind and blue-green algae staining.
Timberline is America's #1 selling shingle brand, delivering the look homeowners love.
Find the complete GAF roofing system at all Riverhead Building Supply locations and at rbscorp.com.
The Vision Zero initiative reminds you that speeding ruins lives. Drivers always look for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to 5 miles per hour.
2 out, nobody on, just getting started at Citi Field. 2-2 to Ozuna. Outfield straight away, McGill deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a fastball. Side retired. Great start for McGill. Took him just 10 pitches to get the side in order, 2 via strikeout.
Yeah, it really was a fast start for Tyler McGill yesterday afternoon. He set down the first 11 Braves to start the game, including that strikeout of Marcell Ozuna for a 1-2-3 top of the third inning. That was the Mets electrifying play of the game, presented by Empower Solar Supercharger Savings and electrify your life. This date in Mets history is brought to you by Flagstar Bank N.A. Flagstar, let's align the stars. Visit them at flagstar.com. On this date, July 28th in 19...
Libera tu espíritu ganador. Apuestas deportivas y cientos de juegos de casino. Disfruta de pagos en minutos, una plataforma segura y atención personalizada en todo momento. Pronostica, diviértete y lleva tu pasión al siguiente nivel. Betcris.
Has a chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th. That's your ball game! Julio wins it in the 10th inning! They'll all go home happy tonight. How about that? That was a bullet, too. He hit an absolute line drive into right center field. Inside out swing. So really, that's a great approach right there.
Now he's tied with Greg Maddux for 10th all time.
He gets gutsy and runs into an out.
There it is. Top 10 all time in strikeouts. Justin Verlander strikes out Abraham Toro. Moves past Greg Maddux. 3,372 career strikeouts for Verlander. The future Hall of Famer adds another list to an incredible career. And now he's in the top 10 all time in strikeouts. 3,372.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has the specialized expertise, extensive training from the nation's best programs, and years of experience to tackle each of your orthopedic needs so you can feel better, faster. Locations across Long Island, open 7 days a week, and now open in Kew Gardens as well. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Peerless boilers are the world's best-built boilers. Pavilion tankless water heaters are the world's best-built tankless water heaters. Learn more about both at peerlessboilers.com.
At Rings End, we'll use our expertise to turn your inspiration into reality with Benjamin Moore's large selection of brilliant and durable paints and stains. We offer expert advice for both contractors and homeowners, like complimentary in-store color and design consultations. Rings End is proud to be New England's largest Benjamin Moore retailer, with 31 convenient locations as well as online shopping. No matter how big or small your project, we'll make sure you have everything you need to do it right with Benjamin Moore at Rings End. Your inspiration, our expertise.
Welcome back to the Nissan Mets pregame show ahead of Game 4 between the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. It is time for the leadoff spot presented by Laborers Local 731. Feel the power. Well, earlier last week, the Mets announced that Carson B, their number 1 pick, had signed his contract. He was not going to return to Oklahoma State, where he was a two-way player. He was at Citi Field over the weekend, and I sat down with Carson to discuss this whirlwind experience of signing his first major league contract.
It's been kind of hectic, moving from Oklahoma to coming to New York for the first time, being able to see all the big, tall buildings, a different amount of history throughout this city. It's really been an amazing thing to see.
What was the draft process like for you? Because as a draft-eligible sophomore, obviously you had some time left in college potentially. So what were some of the conversations like with organizations, the Mets in particular, heading into the draft?
Really just not much to it. Just everyone saw me as a good player, and I thought that there's no way I was going back to college. So with that in mind, all the meetings went really super smooth. So I kind of had a little hunch that there wasn't any way back, even though that place is amazing.
You have a connection to the Mets organization already with Nolan. What was some of the early dialogue with him as the whole process went down, not just as being former college teammates, being two-way players coming into the Mets organization?
Really is just asking him questions like where you live, how many roommates you got, different things like that. He just answered everything, and it kind of played out perfectly with me being taken by the same award.
I heard you say that the decision's made that you're going to focus just primarily playing the outfield now versus being a two-way player, which you were in college. Being a two-way player at a Division I level, what are the challenges with it? Was it still enjoyable? Did you enjoy getting a chance to pitch and both play every day?
Mm-hmm. It was definitely really fun. Being able to do anything you want on that field is definitely a special feeling to have. But being able to pitch and hit in the same game is definitely fun because I've always loved pitching. I've always loved hitting. So being able to do both was kind of cool.
There's a lot of two-way players coming out of the draft this year, and Ohtani's obviously the unicorn. Mm-hmm. We're seeing more and more players start to do it. What do you think that leads to that? So many young kids are deciding, okay, we're going to go to college and then potentially do it at the pro level and do it successfully.
I mean, really, what happened with me is I was young, I threw hard, and I happened to be a good hitter. So being able to go into college and I throw 95 and I'm a good hitter, they allowed me to do both because why wouldn't you? Yeah. And especially with all the growth I made with Rob Walton, who's a really good pitching coach, definitely just kind of made it easier for us.
What's the plan moving forward now? Once the dust settles, you get a chance to take a step back and take in this weekend in New York. What's the plan moving forward for you?
Think I'm going to St. Lucie, and then just really play my baseball, play the way I've played my whole life, not change anything, and I think that'll work out really good.
Shohei Ohtani feeling a little left out. Seems like everybody's hitting home runs in the lineup but him.
Ohtani, right field, forget about it. A massive shot. Wow.
And Ohtani joins the home run party. A 30 home run season for Shohei Ohtani.
473 feet. That was a shot. He almost hit it out of here. High fly ball, deep left field. And the Royals 30-30 club begins with Bobby Wick Jr.
Bobby Baseball has arrived. That was the big one, the home run. Sure was, and he got every bit of it. I think it's worthy of a curtain call. He hit it a long way.
He deals Thomas in the air to right field. That's back. Castellanos on the run, and we are tied. Alec Thomas in the air, left center. That's going to get down. Coming in to score, Marte. Gabby Moreno puts him in front, 6-5.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. That's thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Spectrum delivers. Spectrum One, you get even more. Spectrum Internet, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and one Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line, both free for 12 months. Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile. Get it all together with Spectrum One, starting at just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
New Jersey's got a lot of summer wow. We got your under the sun wows. Your this is too much fun wows. Your that wine was sublime wows. And your one more time wows. So come see what your wow's gonna be. New Jersey, it's one summer wow after another after another. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
By now, you should know I can't get my game day started without my mug of my favorite Bigelow tea. For me, it's that smooth Bigelow green tea that tastes great and keeps my voice in peak condition, especially in extra innings. And I definitely need the English tea time for that day game after a night game. No matter how hectic your day gets, grab your favorite Bigelow tea and take a moment just for you. Join the millions of Mets fans that make Bigelow #1 in New York. Bigelow tea, the official tea of the Mets Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Nissan Mets pregame show ahead of the series finale between the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. First pitch coming your way in just about 20 minutes. Let's take a look at baseball strikeout leader, sponsored by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today. And coming into this afternoon's game, the Mets have struck out 918 batters. The Phillies lead the National League with 936 strikeouts. For every Mets strikeout this year, the Mets Radio Network will make a donation to Cars for Kids charity. We are donating. You should too. Donate your car, boat, or real estate at carsforkids.com today. It's time for our keys to the game, sponsored by Key Food. Look for all your favorite products at your local Key Food. Key Food, the difference is key. And it's key to take the series. The Mets sit a half game behind Atlanta and San Diego for the second and first wild card spots, but there is a log jam around them. 6 teams are within 3 games of any position in the National League wild card. We'll wrap up the Nissan Mets pregame show on the other side on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
Richard Davis is the president of the member-built, member-strong, and member-driven Transport Workers Union Local 100. Baseball season is here, and what better way to get to the game than by using mass transit?
Roofing contractors GAF Timberline HDZ shingles at Riverhead Building Supply deliver the look homeowners want and ease of installation for you. Timberline HDZ shingles feature the strike zone nailing area that helps you save time. Visit rbscorp.com.
At Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, August is heating up with our $59,000 Pick a Drum promotion. On Friday, August 30th, 4 winners each hour will win $250 free play from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. At 7 p.m., 4 winners will be drawn to win $5,000 to $25,000 cash. Earn 1 entry for 100 points the first 4 Fridays in August to be placed on the prize drums August 30th at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
If we don't get any leads in this case soon, the chief will have our badges. Any ideas?
The pieces don't add up.
Yeah, we know.
I suspect foul play, and we need answers.
That's why we're here.
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Are you just quoting cop shows?
Okay, so I'm not a detective. I'm an Optimum tech. When it comes to connectivity, we're experts. If millions of communities rely on us for fiber internet and mobile, you can too. Optimum. Where local is big time. Visit Optimum.com today.
Let's get moving with Centers Healthcare. Centers Healthcare has a different approach to care. Here, you rehab, relax, recover, and go home. Our state-of-the-art technology empowers your rehab journey with us. Healing from surgery now comes with amenities like Starbucks, smart TVs, and personalized recreation. At Centers Healthcare, what matters most is getting you back to the life you had. Visit centershealthcare.com today or call us at 800-305-9151. Centers Healthcare. We're not just care. We are care that moves you.
You can count on our friends at Ridgewood Savings Bank to show you the community banking difference with cutting-edge conveniences and a century-long tradition of award-winning service. Ridgewood is a financial partner you can count on today, tomorrow, and all of the years to come. Whether you prefer to bank at your local neighborhood branch, from home, or on the go, they're always here to help you reach your goals. So let our friends at Ridgewood be the full-service banking partner you can count on to support you in your financial journey. Visit ridgewoodbank.com to find out more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Baseball fans, it's game time. You're up for the season with Key Food and their family of supermarkets, your one-stop shop for all your game day essentials. Whether you're grilling up hot dogs or snacking on peanuts and popcorn, Key Food has you covered with a selection that never strikes out. Plus, as proud sponsors of the New York Mets radio network, Key Food and their family of supermarkets brings every thrilling moment straight to you. Key Food, the difference is key.
Welcome back as we wrap up the Nissan Mets pregame show. Series finale, Mets and Atlanta Braves coming up from Citi Field in just about 15 minutes. David Peterson gets the ball for the Mets. He goes up against the all-star right-hander Reynaldo Lopez for the Atlanta Braves. Mets took the first 2 games of the series. Atlanta came back yesterday with a 4-0 shutout victory behind Spencer Schwollenbach. But today, the Mets offense will try and rebound behind David Peterson, who has been throwing the baseball incredibly well since he returned from his hip labrum surgery. That'll do it for the Nissan Mets pregame show. On the other side, we join Keith Radd and the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets, Howie Rose, for lineups and first pitch. Enjoy the ballgame, folks, on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
The Nissan Mets pregame show on the WCBS Mets Radio Network has been sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. Buckle up for an epic test drive at the Nissan Thrill of the Summer sales event. And by Spectrum. Get Spectrum Internet, Mobile, and TV. Visit Spectrum.com for full details. Sloman's Home Security. The difference is human. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters. Visit PeerlessBoilers.com to find a dealer near you. Margaret Teets Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Laborers Local 731. Feel the power. 1-877-CARS for Kids. That's cars with a K to donate your car today. And by Elec 825. Building our future. This is the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
Sloman's is offering a free home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Discover the legacy of luxury at Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura with over 35 years of excellence. Explore the latest lineup, the new 2025 Acura Integra MDX and the new 2024 Acura RX, TLX, and the electric ZDX is here now. You can also explore our diverse selection of high-quality used cars, meticulously inspected and ready to hit the road. Your next adventure starts here at Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura. Visit BridgewaterAcura.com to discover unparalleled sophistication and precision performance. Find us at 1231 US 22 in Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Hey, baseball fans, check out ThriveWell Infusion, trusted choice in IV therapy among physicians to experience high-quality care from the highly trained medical staff at ThriveWell. ThriveWell Infusion understands that it can be stressful when receiving an infusion, but it doesn't have to be when you're in one of their private, state-of-the-art infusion suites. Let ThriveWell handle your infusion needs so you can focus on the game. Visit us at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives drip by drip.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast is presented by Health Markets. Shop for health insurance your way.
It's the 2024 New York Mets on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
Hit high in the air, deep left field. Tyrone Taylor sends it way out. We are tied at 1. Alonso sends a high fly ball, deep left center field. Verdugo back at the wall. It is gone. Pete Alonso goes deep to left.
Swing and a drive. Deep to right. Down the line. There she goes. Home run. Francisco Lindor. A scorcher. A no-doubter. Vientos hit deep to left field. This ball might be on the way, and it's gone. Vientos with a home run into the lower left field stands. Swinging a high fly ball. Well hit left center. This one might go. Judges back, and it is gone. Beyond the Mets bullpen in left center field. A long home run by Francisco Lindor. His second home run of the game. Swinging a ground ball wide at second. McNeil's got it. Sets. Throws to first. Put it in the books.
New York Mets baseball is sponsored by your local Tri-Honda dealer. Contact one for a great deal today. And by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Hyundai and your local Hyundai dealers. The Rothenberg Law Firm. InjuryLawyer.com. Casamigos Tequila. Brought to you by those who drink it. The Vision Zero Initiative. Reminding you to slow down and watch for pedestrians and cyclists. ThriveWell Infusion, the official IV sponsor of the Mets Radio Network. Visit ThriveWellInfusion.com. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Optimum, where local is big time. Bridgewater Acura on Route 22 in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters. Visit PeerlessBoilers.com to find a dealer near you. LifeVac, the original choking rescue device that saves lives. The New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. And by Mike's Amazing, the official mayo, mustard, and vegetable oil of the New York Mets.
From Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, welcome to New York Mets baseball. This afternoon, the Mets face the Atlanta Braves in the final game of a 4-game series. The starting pitchers for Atlanta, right-hander Reynaldo Lopez, and for the Mets, left-hander David Peterson. Hi again, everyone. I'm Howie Rose, along with Keith Radd. The Mets had their 5-game winning streak stopped yesterday, and the Braves ended their 6-game losing streak with a 4-0 win over the Mets. And so in those 9 innings, the Mets went from the first wild card spot in the National League down to third. They start play today with a record of 55-49. And again, in that third wild card spot, they're just a half game behind who are now the co-leaders, the Braves and the San Diego Padres. And looking the other way, they're just a half game ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are fourth in the race for 3 spots. The Braves come in with a record now of 55-48. It's been a struggle for them almost ever since the Mets turned it around right at the end of May. Our game time temperature is sponsored by Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters. Go to PeerlessBoilers.com for a dealer near you. Sunny skies, hazy, 85 degrees at game time. We'll come back not only to look at the pitching matchup, but talk about a deal the Mets made to bring a guy who's going to be very popular almost right away, Jesse Winker, to New York. And we'll talk about that next on the WCBS Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers. While everyone is listening to the ball game, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative is hard at work rebuilding our infrastructure. Whether it's transportation, water, or energy projects, ELEC and the operating Engineers 825 are ready to get to work building our bounce back.
Pat McCarthy here, and I'd like to tell you about my alma mater, the College of New Jersey. At TCNJ, you get the best of both worlds. A top-notch education at a public college price point. TCNJ's faculty are partners in their students' success with courses that are more immersive and that offer transformational learning experiences along the way. That's higher education elevated. Come see for yourself what makes TCNJ so special. Learn more and register for an open house at tcnj.edu.
Here comes the pitch. Foul ball.
For all your home improvement needs, windows, doors, siding, or roofing, visit unifiedwindows.com or call 888-631-2131.
All right, guys, who still doesn't have a home security system to protect your family? How would you like a free doorbell camera and professional installation? Sloman's wishes they could give one to everyone, but they only have enough for the first 40 fans. So, the first 40 Mets listeners to call 1-800-ALARM-ME, that's 1-800-ALARM-ME, will get a free Sloman's doorbell camera that connects directly to your phone with installation of your Sloman's Shield. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting a digital keypad, motion detector, 10 contacts, backup battery, and a lifetime warranty. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 Mets listeners to call, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman's Shield. Keep your family safe. Call Sloman's now at 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME to take advantage of this limited time offer.
Bronx, Queens, Bronx, Queens.
Hey, Mitch,
Bronx,
what are they
Queens,
arguing
Bronx.
about?
Which borough has the better team?
Queens. Hey,
Bronx.
guys, be careful. Nobody has fixed that sidewalk in years.
Rothenberg Law Firm. InjuryLawyer.com.
Now what are they arguing about?
Which personal injury lawyer to call? Rothenberg Law Firm.
Should we tell them that the Rothenberg Law Firm is InjuryLawyer.com?
Nah, I find this amusing. They'll figure it out.
Lawyer for injured ones. InjuryLawyer.com.
Back here at Citi Field, we're getting set for the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. The newest Met, Jesse Winker, not in the starting lineup. He had a 7 a.m. flight this morning out of St. Louis, which is where his team, the Washington Nationals, were playing. But he's going to be popular here, Keith, because he had a very playful relationship with Mets fans going back about 5 years when he was with the Cincinnati Reds, exchanging barbs with fans sitting out in left field. He's a fun guy, and he's going to be part of a clubhouse where he knows a lot of players. He and Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, they play travel ball together in Florida, and so he should be a pretty good fit here.
Absolutely, and as the media was circling him in his locker today, behind the media, as players walked in from some of their hitters' meetings, you could see Jesse's eyes going to each different guy and kind of saying hello, and then once the media pack broke away, Pete Alonso came over for a big hug. The Mets are extremely happy that Jesse Winker is here to help. And who knows, we may see him coming up as this game unfolds late for a pinch hit appearance. But as far as it will begin, today's pitching matchup is presented by Ridgewood Savings Bank, multiplying the good for over 100 years. Mets are going to go after another really good starter, Reynaldo Lopez. We mentioned a couple nights ago when Chris Sale pitched, Sale's ERA was about top 5 or 6 in baseball. Well, that's because Reynaldo Lopez is the one that everybody is looking up at. He has a 2.12 ERA. Former reliever, at least recently turned starter this year, signed a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Braves. Now, what some people with Atlanta are saying is that maybe Lopez is hitting a little bit of a slowdown, a little bit of a wall, because his ERA into the month of July was a beautiful 1.70, but since he's gotten into the thick of the season, deep now, 4 starts this particular month, his ERA has ballooned to 3.63. So who knows if Lopez maybe recharges into this start or stays kind of up and down into this one against the Mets. Meanwhile, David Peterson, as he has pitched for the Mets this year, this will be start number 10. The last 8 of them, the Mets have won, and Peterson's been really good. He has pitched to a 3.14 ERA. I hate to use this, but the word lucky comes up sometimes because Peterson's numbers, his expected numbers, he's left a lot of guys on base this year, more than he has in his career. Can he keep that many guys off base as he has over his first 9 starts? Well, when we get back, we'll take a look at the starting lineups and have first pitch on the WCBS Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Roofing contractors, GAF Timberline HDZ shingles at Riverhead Building Supply deliver the look your homeowners want and ease of installation for you. Timberline HDZ shingles feature the Strike Zone nailing area that helps you do your best work and save time. Your clients get America's #1 selling roof shingle brand, and you can move on to the next installation. Learn more at rbscorp.com.
Our world is full of emerging technology, which can be great.
Hi, I'm an AI virtual assistant.
But too much technology can be kinda scary.
I can figure out time travel.
At Hyundai, we're including user-friendly intuitive technology on all our 2024 models, like complimentary BlueLink Plus, which can help you locate your car, start it remotely, even adjust the temperature inside. We also offer available technology like Digital Key, so if your keys go missing, you can use your phone to access your Hyundai.
I can access your phone, your home, your inner thoughts.
Our technology is friendly.
I have to go. Disrupt the space-time continuum. Talk later.
Without being terrifying. User-friendly intuitive technology. From Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile.
Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 2.99% APR for 60 months, or up to $1,250 bonus cash. See your local Hyundai dealer today. Call 661-615-2112 for details.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
An orthopedic surgeon can replace a damaged joint, but they can't replace time. For you, or for the person who has to drive you around. That's why you need a surgeon who's close to home. At RWJ Barnabas Health, we have the specialized care you need to get moving again. Do it right. Here. Visit rwjbh.org/ortho. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy. Together.
Today's starting lineups are sponsored by Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda for the Braves, 55-48. Adam Duvall leads off. He's in right field. Third baseman Austin Riley bats behind him. Marcell Ozuna, 30 home runs this year, bats third as the designated hitter. Matt Olson bats fourth. He plays first base. The catcher, Travis d'Arnaud, bats fifth. Center fielder today is the sixth hitter, Ramon Laureano. Then Nacho Alvarez Jr. at second base, batting seventh. Orlando Arcia, the shortstop, bats eighth. And left fielder Luke Williams bats ninth with Reynaldo Lopez on the mound. He is 7-4 with a 2.12 ERA. Now for the New York Mets, who are 55-49. Francisco Lindor leads off. He's at shortstop. Second baseman Jose Iglesias bats second. Brandon Nimmo batting third today as the DH. Pete Alonso hits fourth and plays first base. And Pete is the Mets cleanup hitter, presented by ServPro, like it never even happened. Mark Vientos batting fifth, playing third base. Right fielder Jeff McNeil hits sixth. The catcher, Francisco Alvarez, bats seventh. Tyrone Taylor hits eighth and plays center. And left fielder Ben Gamel rounds out the lineup, batting ninth. David Peterson makes start number 10. He is 5-0 with a 3.14 earned run average. The Mets today are now the third wildcard team, but they can leave this game today having once again leaped over Atlanta, and it would be big because the Mets are 5-4 against the Braves. One more here, 3 more down in Atlanta at the end of the year. When it's game time, it's Tully time. First pitch is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew during today's game. It is a beautiful sun-splashed day at Citi Field. Adam Duvall ready to hit, and we turn it over to the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets, Howie Rose.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. So Adam Duvall, not a guy you would expect to see necessarily in a clean or in a leadoff spot. He's never been a guy who's drawn a lot of walks. He's always been a power hitter. But the Braves are kind of desperate right now. It was quite a few games for Jared Kelenic, who was just awful over the weekend, going 0 for 13 with a whole bunch of strikeouts, 8 in all. And so Duvall leads off, and David Peterson's first pitch is a fastball taken outside for ball 1. Now Duvall went 2 for 4 yesterday, and that's after he hit 2 home runs the night before. Still, he's batting just $193 with 10 homers, and the 1-0 pitch by Peterson is a fastball outside for ball 2. Duvall also has good numbers and a relatively small sample against Peterson. He's 4 for 9, including a home run against the Mets left-hander. And now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss as he pulled the string on him. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Duvall. Austin Riley is on deck. And then Marcell Ozuna. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And again, Peterson going to a changeup away. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Adam Duvall. Peterson making his 10th start of the year, 5-0. The Mets have won the last 8 games that he's started, and a 3.14 earned run average. So Peterson, with a glove in front of his face, delivers 2-2 and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So he went down the line those last few pitches with changeups away, and has struck out Adam Duvall to get it started. 1 up, 1 down, and that will bring up Austin Riley, the number 2 hitter. And the Mets defensive alignment is sponsored by Orland and Cohen Orthopedic Group. Experiencing orthopedic pain, they've got specialists for that. First pitch, swinging a liner the other way, a base hit going into right field. So Riley on a fastball shoots one the other way, played back in by McNeil, and that ends in 0 for 11 for Austin Riley. And so 1 on, 1 out, and Marcell Ozuna will be the batter. That defensive alignment for the Mets, Alonso at first, Iglesias at second, Lindor at short, Vientos at third. Ben Gamble in left field today, Taylor in center, McNeil in right, Francisco Alvarez catching Peterson. Gamble is here. DJ Stewart was sent down, optioned to AAA because of just that. He had an option. Pitch to Ozuna, taken high and tight, ball 1. Ben Gamble did not. And so Gamble getting the start in left field today. Ozuna, a triple crown threat, 3rd in the league in hitting at .307. 2nd in homers with 30, leads the league in RBIs. And the 1-0 taken high and tight, ball 2. Ozuna has driven in 82 runs. Yesterday, Ozuna was 1 for 4 with a home run, and he homered the night before as well. 1 on, 1 out, just getting started. Alonso holding Riley at first. And the 2-0 pitch. Fastball is on the outside corner, a called strike. And the count 2-1 now on Ozuna, who was 2 for 14 against Peterson. Both of those hits, though, home runs. Now Peterson sets of the letters. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And a fastball. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball from David Peterson. Peterson, although he's not made a ton of starts in the big leagues, he started 73 games in all. And this is his 10th against the Braves. He's 3-4 lifetime against them. Throw to first. And backstanding is Austin Riley. Braves are not a team that steal many bases. In fact, only the Giants have stolen fewer among National League teams. Riley has not even attempted one. So 2-2 the count. Peterson comes set. Now the pitch. Ozuna bounces it to third. Waiting on it, Vientos. He's got it. Fires to second for the force play. No return throw to first. So Ozuna safe at first on the fielder's choice. Riley out at second, 5-4, as the throw from Vientos forced Iglesias to kind of reach in towards the infield grass. And he made it an easy play, but also a very smart play by not trying to hurry a throw to first unnecessarily. So 2 men away. Ozuna now the base runner at first. And Matt Olson, who's starting to wake up with a bat, coming up. He was really slumping as of about a week ago. Left-hand hitter with power. The first pitch is on the inside corner, called strike, 0-1. Olson hit 54 homers last year. Well, he homered yesterday, and that was just his 14th of this season. He's got 3 homers against Peterson. And the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And so Peterson, living right at the top of the zone there at 93, gets Olson to swing through it. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. We're scoreless in the first inning. Ozuna, the runner at first, with 2 out. Vientos way off the line at third, out at shortstop. And the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that retires the side. Again, Peterson climbing the ladder there with a fastball. And the Braves are done in the first. 2 strikeouts for Peterson. 1 hit, 1 left. Middle of the first. The Braves nothing. The Mets coming up on the WCBS Mets radio.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Should not prevent collision, though provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Towing capability varies by configuration. See owner's manual for important safety information. Well-qualified lessees, 2024 Pathfinder SV 4-wheel drive. $62.59 initial payment excludes tax, title, license, and $695 acquisition fee. Disposition fee due at lease send. Take from new dealer stock. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details. And 73124.
Last of the first inning at Citi Field. Braves did not score against David Peterson. Now the Mets will face the right-hander Reynaldo Lopez, and Francisco Lindor leads off. Takes the first pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Lindor is 0 for his last 10 now. Francisco hitting .254 with 22 homers and 62 runs batted in. He's 6th in the league in homers. And the pitch back fouled over the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Reynaldo Lopez, it's his 19th start of the year, and therein may lie a bit of a problem. This is the first year that he's worked in rotation in a while. He was a starter early in his career with the Chicago White Sox, and in back-to-back seasons in 2018 and 2019, he made 32 and 33 starts, respectively. 1-1 the count. Now the pitch to Lindor, a curveball that's low. 2 balls and 1 strike, but most of the last few years, he's worked out of the bullpen. And so, although he pitched very well against the Mets back in April, 6 scoreless innings in a game the Braves would beat the Mets 6-5. 2-1 on the way. A fastball line the other way. Base hit going into left center. Hustling over Laureano. Slides, grabs the ball. Lindor, a big turnaround first, and he'll go back to the bag and hold on with a leadoff single. So Lindor breaks the 0 for 10 with a well-struck single the other way. It's the first Mets hit of the game. Sponsored by Legion Athletics. You don't need supplements to build muscle, lose fat, and get healthy, but the right ones can help. Well, Lopez, last couple of starts, has really struggled. His velocity has been down. And so there is some concern as he has shot way past his innings from last year that he may be running out of gas. Jose Iglesias swings and misses at the first pitch. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle for a called strike 1. But when he threw his last outing against the Reds on Monday, His average fastball, his four-seamer, was 94 and change. The 0-1 taken outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And that was as low as it's been all year. It was a little bit under 95. And so, yeah, there's some concern now that the innings are starting to catch up with Lopez. He's pitched 101 2/3. The 1-1 on the way. Breaking ball. Did he hold up? They go to first, and he did swing, says first base Will Little. And so the count to Iglesias is 1 ball and 2 strikes. And again, it's not the number of innings per se. It's the fact that he didn't throw all that many over the last few years relative to working in a starting rotation. So that's where the Braves have concern. Lindor at first being held on by Olsen. And the 1-2 to Iglesias. Breaking ball hit on the ground to short. Could be 2. Arcia to second. 1. Alvarez to first. Close play, but it's a double play. Iglesias going hard down the line. Almost beat that out. But it is a 6-4-3 double play. And just like that, 2 out, nobody on. And Brandon Nimmo coming up. Well, Nimmo is the designated hitter today. And I think the arrival of Jesse Winker is going to serve many purposes for the Mets. Not only as it pertains to having another good bat they can plug into the lineup in Winker. First pitch to Nimmo, swing and a miss at a fastball, 0-1. Well, Brandon's been struggling. He's 1 for his last 25 for his last 45. But J.D. Martinez has been the DH almost every day, so they can give him a little more of a rest against right-handers. 0-1 to Nimmo, taking on the inside corner, a called strike, a sinker. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Nimmo. Pete Alonso on deck. Nimmo has not driven in a run in a little over a week since the All-Star break. Batting .235 with 16 homers and still 63 RBIs. No score, 2 out, nobody on in the first. The 0-2 to Nimmo. Swing and a foul off to the left and out of play. We're coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Lopez's numbers for the year, 7-4, a 2.12 ERA, are very impressive. The 0-2 on the way. Fastball fouled straight back. Got in towards the hands of Nimmo there. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, so his velocity was fine there. Braves have had solid pitching all year, even in the absence of the injured Spencer Strider. Only the Phillies have a lower staff ERA than the Braves. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball is low. 1-2 to Nimmo. Mets have been hitting a ton of home runs. Only the Dodgers have more in the National League. Mets have been doing a lot of damage. Certainly going back to that Yankee series with a long ball. Here's the 1-2 in the dirt, 58-footer. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Slider there, thrown by Lopez. Amazing when you look back at those 4 games against the Yankees. 2 of them came against Garrett Cole, Cy Young Award winner, and the Mets hit 7 home runs against Garrett Cole. 2-2 to Nimmo. Swinging a little roller foul that went off of Nimmo's foot. And good to see that Brandon is good to go. He was able to stay in after fouling a ball off of his kneecap yesterday. And for a while, I was uncertain whether or not he'd be able to hang in. He was in some pain.
Said just kind of had a numb kneecap. He just tried to walk it off. Just something that you had to give time. It just wouldn't leave. It was bothering him for a while.
2-2 to Nimmo. Now the pitch. And a fastball outside. Full count.
As far as what the Mets did against Garrett Cole and what they've done since the start of June, that's what made Spencer Schwellenbach's outing yesterday so impressive. Mets couldn't touch him. 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, no walks. He was incredible.
Yeah, he was terrific. Here's a payoff pitch. Nimmo shoots it foul off to the third base side downstairs. And so Brandon Nimmo not only has run a typical full count, but he's made Lopez throw 9 pitches. No score, 2 out, nobody on. We're in the last of the first. Reynaldo Lopez sets, payoff pitch, breaking ball hit on the ground to short, right at Arcia. He gobbles it up and throws to first in time, side retired. No runs a hit, nobody left. At the end of 1, it's the Braves nothing.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Exide batteries are available at Parts Authority Auto Parts Superstores, where the answer is yes.
Second inning at Citi Field. Braves nothing, Mets nothing. Travis d'Arnaud will lead off for Atlanta. Chuckling because I'm about to read you a promo for the Topps baseball cards that the Mets will be giving out here. And man, these cards look a whole lot different than they did when I was a kid. First pitch on the way to d'Arnaud, taking high, ball one. And no jokes about just black and white back in those days, please. They were color as well.
Come on, one.
In the early 1960s. But on July 31st, which is Wednesday, here's the 1-0 to the ex-Met Travis d'Arnaud. Fouled straight back out of play, 1-1. Mets and Braves scoreless starting the second inning. Mets will face the Minnesota Twins for some reason. The first 10,000 fans will receive a pack of Topps Mets baseball cards. 1-1 to d'Arnaud. Fastball high and away, ball two. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. I mean, these are, I wouldn't call them holograms necessarily, but they're very glossy and shiny. The 2-1, take it low and away, ball three.
Now,
they're beautiful.
Do you have, is it the same? I have a Lindor, Senga, Alvarez, Nimmo. You looking at the same kind of names?
Yeah, and Diaz is the last one?
Yeah, I did.
What is this? We got the same ones? 3-1 to d'Arnaud. A changeup swung out and missed, 3-2.
Well, we can't trade him then. One for this, one for that.
Well, it depends. You know, I mean, if I give you a Lindor, then you got to give me Senga and Alvarez.
That's a big package.
Here's the payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike three. So Travis d'Arnaud now 0 for 11 against David Peterson, and d'Arnaud's a guy who's always hit the Mets well since he left the Mets. 1 up, 1 down, and Ramon Laureano, the center fielder, coming up. But anyway, you know, to this generation of baseball card collectors, you will like these because there are baseball cards and then there are Topps. They invented baseball cards. They are baseball cards. Laureano takes a called strike, 0-1.
But you traded them when you were younger, right?
Yeah, we flipped them. Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no gum in these. That's a problem. The 0-1 to Laureano bounced along the third base line. A fair ball. Vientos up with it. Hustles his throw to first. And it's in time to get Laureano 2 men away.
I remember when I was younger, baseball cards and hockey cards I would trade. There was one untouchable hockey card. Just because it was the coolest name of all time, Darius Kasparaitis. Don't touch my Darius Kasparaitis hockey card.
I wouldn't go near your Darius Kasparaitis hockey card. It might hit me. He was a tough customer.
Absolutely.
So here is Nacho Alvarez, right-hand batter, and he rolls the first pitch to the right side. Iglesias, the second baseman, has it. Throws to first in time, side retired, and the Braves go quickly and quietly in the...
Benjamin Moore at Rings End. Your inspiration, our expertise.
Last of the second inning at Citi Field. Braves nothing, Mets nothing, and the Mets will have the middle of their order up against Reynaldo Lopez, who needed 18 pitches to get out of the first inning. More than half of them against Brandon Nimmo, finally grounded out. Here's Pete Alonso to lead off, and the first pitch taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. He starts him off with a sinker. Alonso 1 for his last 11. His average at .241 with 20 homers and 53 runs batted in. Now the 0-1 on the way. Fastball over the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. One thing that the Mets surge into wild card contention has done is take away any realistic discussion of the Mets trading Pete at the deadline. I mean, anything's possible, but I certainly don't see that happening. The 0-2 breaking ball away, 1 ball and 2 strikes, because if the Mets had gone along the road they were traveling in May and had been out of realistic contention by now, and the Mets were selling, could you imagine what Pete would have been dealing with for the last couple of weeks on a daily and nightly basis, just in terms of questions? 1-2 fouled back to the screen, 2-2. Pardon me, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So, however this season plays out, it certainly appears that Pete will be here through its entirety, and then they'll figure it out over the winter. 1-2. Now the pitch. Breaking ball outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Remember in spring training, Francisco Lindor was talking about his own dealings with his contract, and he said, I'm a guy, I have to do it before the season. I can't have it in the back of my mind all year. Pete made the decision that he didn't mind having it kind of in the forefront all season long, the walk year.
2-2 on the way. Swing on a drive in the air, foul down the right field line and out of play.
And if the season was going the way May went, and it went that way all year, it would have been good business for the Mets to move Alonso, get something back instead of getting nothing back. But now he is certainly here to stay for this push.
He is tied for 8th in the league with 20 home runs. The 2-2 on the way. Fastball in tight, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball a little over 95 miles an hour there from Lopez, who's been with the White Sox and the Angels and the Guardians. 30-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. After Alonso, it'll be Vientos and McNeil here in the bottom of the second inning. Riley is deep and close to the line at third. And the payoff pitch to Alonso. Swing and a liner the other way. That's a base hit. It's going to head towards the corner. Duval after it, picks the ball up on the warning track. Alonso on his way to second, and he pulls him standing with a leadoff double. So for the second straight inning, a leadoff hit for the Mets. Alonso's in scoring position. And before Mark Vientos will pause for station ID on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
When the Mets aren't playing, get everything you need to know every time you listen to WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2 New York.
Howie Rose, Keith Radd with you at Citi Field. Mets threatening now here at the bottom of the second of a scoreless game with the Braves. Alonso's 25th double of the year has him at second with no outs, and now Vientos. Right-hand batter, the righty Lopez deals, and he misses low and away with a slider, ball 1. Vientos hitting .286, 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in, and that's in 59 games. So you prorate those numbers, and it's a big season in the power department. The 1-0 on the way. Breaking ball hit in the air to left field, not deep. Williams in, makes the one-hand catch for the first out, and Alonso has to hold on at second. So 1 gone, and Jeff McNeil will be the batter. Mets Baseball is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact a dealer for a great deal today or visit tryhondadealers.com. McNeil brings a 6-game hitting streak to the plate, batting .232 now with 9 homers, 32 RBIs. Check that, 33 RBIs. Don't want to shortchange Happy Jeff. First pitch, a check swing foul over by the Braves dugout, and the count 0-1. And that's what he's been. Over the last dozen games, he's hit .357. Taking to heart, I'm sure, the fact that, all right, Jeff, you're not going to hit .320 this year. But you can hit .320 from the All-Star break on and be a big factor in this team's push to the postseason. Playing a lot of outfield these days. The 0-1, check swing at a fastball high and away. He held up. It's 1-1. And that is another option the Mets are going to have now with Jesse Winker. Now, he hasn't played a lot of right field the last few years. He has played it going back to the early days of his career with the Reds. Most of the time, when he's in the outfield, he's in left field now. We're talking about Winker. The 1-1 fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But, you know, the Mets are going to be careful, as we talked about really over the last couple of games, not to run Jose Iglesias into the ground either. You know, he's been playing really, really well, but don't necessarily need to push him every day. So there are different players that can be rested every day with Winker there as a DH. The 1-2 lifted foul the other way over by the tarp down the third base line. It remains 1-2 on Jeff McNeil.
Yeah, Carlos Mendoza said just the usage. Jesse Winker doesn't have to be the everyday guy in the lineup going out there for the rest of the year every single day, but he will be used a lot to spell a lot of these guys you're talking about, especially J.D. Martinez too, or Vientos, guys with against big righties.
1-2 to McNeil. Swing and a miss, strike 3 at a breaking ball in the dirt. Good slider. The ball picked up by Darno. Throws McNeil out. Alonso holds at second. First strikeout for Lopez. Now there are 2 men away, and Francisco Alvarez will be the batter.
Carlos is talking about, especially with Vientos, you talk about the small sample, how good he's been. But really for Vientos, this is the only time he's been playing every single day. The minor leagues don't enable you to play every single day. So they do want to get Vientos off his feet, especially against righties.
So here's Alvarez, right-hand batter. And the first pitch by Lopez. Check swing and a breaking ball away. He did not go. It's ball 1. You know, the other thing, too, with Winker is that not only is he a good hitter, particularly against right-handers, he's very comfortable delivering as a pinch hitter off the bench. And he walks a fair amount. The 1-0. And missed outside. It's 2-0 to Alvarez. And it's starting to cloud up here a little bit, somewhat unexpectedly. Alvarez batting .273, 5 homers, 25 RBIs. Braves nothing, Mets nothing. Alonso at second with 2 out here in the second. He was there with nobody out after leading off with a double. 2-0 pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball foul up the third base line. It's 2-1. Ryan Addington is the home plate umpire this afternoon. Will Little at first, Gabe Morales at second, and strike finding Doug Eddings, the crew chief, is the umpire at third.
Old 213 Doug Eddings yesterday.
Yep, that was the clock, not the number of strikes he called, but maybe pretty close between both teams. 2-1 to Alvarez. Mets with 2 hits, the Braves 1. Righty against righty here as Lopez sets below the waist. Checks Alonso at second. The pitch. Fastball over for a called strike. It's 2-2. One thing about Lopez, he has been able to bear down in these spots. Again, Alonso is at second, nobody out. But the league has only hit 104 against him with men in scoring position. 2-2 on the way. Fastball in there. Strike 3 called, and those numbers will go even lower as the leadoff double by Alonso goes to waste. 2 strikeouts.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
favorite store in the Key Food family of supermarkets. Key Food is a proud sponsor of the Mets Radio Network.
We go to the third inning. Mets and Braves are scoreless here at Citi Field. This month will conclude with 3 games here against the Minnesota Twins. In the midst of it all will be the trade deadline on Tuesday. Interesting week coming up here, Keith.
Absolutely. David Peterson faces Orlando Arcia. First pitch over the outside corner, called a strike, and it's 0-1. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the trade deadline, and David Stearns has already been hitting the phones enough for 2 big trades. 0-1. Arcia pops it foul to the right, into the seats, and it's 0-2. Ryan Stanek, bullpen piece, right-hander. We have yet to see him pitch. Today may be a day for that. Jesse Winker is here, too, but on the bench. May be available toward the end of the game as a pinch hitter. 0-2 to Arcia. Fouled into the mid, strike 3. Just got a piece, but Alvarez held on to that curve. And Arcia is the next best strikeout victim for David Peterson, who has struck out 4.
Well, there's some playfulness there, I think. After Alvarez held the ball for strike 3, Arcia kind of turned back and almost came down with the bat in a menacing fashion towards Alvarez. I'm sure it was all in fun. Alvarez might have said something to him about strike 3.
Here's Luke Williams, a righty, batting 9th, and the first pitch from Peterson is high and away for ball 1. Well, we've seen Francisco Alvarez in many different fashions since he's been up. He has been a character. He's always talking to the umpires, talking to hitters, being playful and fun. 1-0. Williams skies it foul off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, yes, the other day at Yankee Stadium, he and Juan Soto were talking to each other, and then Soto ended up later in that at-bat going dead central into Monument Park for a homer. 1-1. Williams grounds it foul up the third base line. It's 1-2. And you go back and watch that clip, and you'll actually see Soto hit the ball, and then as it's soaring out, he turns and has basically a conversation with Alvarez with a smile on his face. And maybe Francisco said something along the lines of, hey, why don't you do that for us next year? But that's a whole other story for Juan Soto. Here's a 1-2 to Williams. Way outside with a breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets nothing, Braves nothing. Top of the third. Williams batting with 1 out. The base is clear. Skinny right-handed hitter. Has been up and down with the Braves all year between here and AAA Gwinnett with the Stripers. 2-2. Check swing on a pitch up and in. Did he go? He did. Now Will Little punches him out all the way from the first baseline on a fastball zipping up and in. That was a pitch that came in at 95 miles an hour, sponsored by Spectrum. Get Spectrum Internet, mobile, and TV. Restrictions apply. Visit Spectrum.com for full details.
Sorry, Keith. There was a time, not all that long ago, maybe 30-odd years ago, when there was no appeal allowed by a catcher to a first base umpire on a play like that.
First pitch to Adam Duvall is fought off foul to the right, strike 1.
But it was a very sensible rule change because it was recognized that the first and third base umpires had a better angle to see check swings very often than the home plate umpire did. So that was a great move that they made when they instituted that.
0-1, swing and a miss at a high inside fastball. Duvall really chased upstairs. It's 0-2.
Maybe somebody can help. I don't remember what yet. Maybe it's been around longer than I even remember, but I'm thinking somewhere in the late 80s, mid 80s, maybe even a little before that. But it's not all that long when you put it in the context of the entire history of baseball.
Scoreless game, top 3. 2 outs, 2 strike pitch to Duvall. Just missed outside a curve, and it's 1-2. I remember seeing a clip, and maybe it was the 80s, where some of the check swings were egregious. And they weren't called strikes or swings, but full shoulder twists and the bat would go flying. Oh, I held it back. And they'd say, all right.
There was no appeal allowed then.
Peterson spins the 1-2. And it's popped up left side of the infield. Vientos comes charging in on the grass. Peterson gets out of the way. And Vientos makes the catch to retire the side. David Peterson won over the minimum. 3 scoreless innings against the Braves so far. We go to the bottom of the
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Comeback. The Rothenberg Law Firm. 1-800-624-8888. Or visit injurylawyer.com.
The lawyer for injured ones. Injurylawyer.com.
We're coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Tyrone Taylor leads off. First pitch from Atlanta's Reynaldo Lopez is a curve that misses inside for ball one. Bottom three, Mets nothing, Braves nothing. Taylor hitting .226, 6 homers, 25 RBIs. The kick in the 1-0. Top foul behind the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. Taylor, Gamble, Lindor, 8-9-1 against Reynaldo Lopez, who continues to lower his ERA with out after out today. It's now at 2.08, best in the National League. He's set at the belt, the 1-1. Slided down and away, check swing, but Taylor did not go, even though he leaned that way. That's 2 balls and 1 strike. Now Lopez pretty good so far, despite the fact that the Mets have been on twice. Early single, then a double play ball, then a Pete Alonso leadoff double in the second, and then nothing doing. 2-1 to Taylor. Ripped in the air, deep to left field, toward the wall. It is a one-hopper, off the warning track, off the wall. Williams fields, but Taylor's already at second base with a double. Guess what? Another fastball up and in, and Taylor was absolutely ready for it. Spanked it into left field. He's at second base, and the Mets are in business in the bottom of the third.
They've been in business a lot. It's the third straight inning, which is to say all 3 innings they have had the leadoff man on via a hit. A single in the first by Lindor. Now a double by Taylor after Alonso started the home second with a double.
So now Ben Gamble. Corners are in, middle infielders are back, nobody out, bottom 3. First pitch. Gamble shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike at the knees on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Now Gamble was a name that many thought would be the guy to be the odd man out, with Jesse Winker added to the roster, but instead it was another lefty, DJ Stewart, who was optioned to Syracuse. 0-1, fouled at home plate, and the count 0-2. And certainly, Gamble is out of options, but as Carlos Mendoza also said today, they've got to get DJ Stewart going, and they felt that if he was still on the bench here, still not going to get a lot of at-bats. They'd rather have him go to AAA and get hot again. They might need him down the stretch with some power, but he was struggling, DJ Stewart. 0-2. Down and in. Gamble takes a slider low, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
And the Mets still have not given up on the idea of Starling Marte coming back, and if he does, then they'll still have to make a move, presumably with an outfielder, to get him on the roster, and that's where Gamble might be vulnerable again. And that's a ways off yet.
Runner at second base, nobody out. Lopez deals the 1-2. Off the plate away with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Gamble has played in 11 games, but he only has 9 at-bats, so how's that? Usually Gamble's in the game because he's pinch running or a defensive replacement in the outfield late. Just 1 for 9 with a double in those 11 games. No score, bottom 3. Taylor with good speed leads from second. And the pitch. Oh, hold on a second. Time called by the home plate umpire, Ryan Addington. He's going to get Lopez for a pitch clock violation. The clock hit 0 before Lopez delivered home, so it's ball 3.
What a break, because it looked like strike 3.
Gamble didn't really do anything. He just stood there. I was wondering why, ready to punch him out, but Ryan Addison is all over it. So now it is 3-2. That clock, by the way, is winding down. 4, 3, 2. Lopez comes set, and now time called. Was that on the catcher or Gamble? And now Carlos Mendoza is actually asking that as well. They're going to call it a disengagement for Lopez, who just simply stepped off the rubber, which he could have done that before the 2-2 pitch, but I guess the clock slipped by his gaze. So he's back on the rubber, 3-2. Payoff pitch. That's outside, ball 4, and now Gamble is on. So Lopez, who hasn't walked anybody all day, has walked his first batter, and the Mets have first and second. The bottom of the order has set the table now for Lindor, followed by Iglesias and Nimmo here.
Remember all the hubbub last spring about the pitch clock and how our guy's going to adjust? Hardly heard a peep about it this year, at least relative to what it was even at this point last year.
Now Lopez, I guess, just got caught up here. And now, speaking of getting caught up, Travis d'Arnaud is going to work out that pitch calm. He's holding it up to his ear. And as he works on that, we'll let you know about some scores. Sponsored by your local Honda dealers. Contact one for a great deal today. San Diego, which right now is the wild card stands. Braves, Padres, and the Mets are the top 3 teams, and they are only separated by a grand total of 5 percentage points. Not a big difference. First pitch to Lindor. Swing and a miss. Big cutter to curve, down and in. Count 0-1. Now San Diego right now is scoreless in Baltimore, top 3. Phillies, who both the Mets and the Braves are looking up at, they're up 3-0 on Cleveland, bottom 3. And another disengagement. So 0-1 on Lindor, who climbs back in. No score, bottom 3. Mets threatening, though. Best chance of the day for either side. First and second. Lopez from the belt. A look at second. Now the pitch. Outside, soft breaking ball, 1-1. In that game for the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber hit not only a leadoff home run, but a home run after that. So he had number 21 and number 22 to get the Phillies up. And then Tampa Bay beat Cincinnati 2-1 down in Florida. 1-1 on Lindor. Lopez fires home. Swing and a miss at a hard 96-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle of the plate. 1-2 on Francisco, who guided a pitch to left center his first time for the first Mets hit. Right now the Mets threatening, first and second. Pitch home. Tapped on the ground to the right side. Olsen to his right. Fields fires to second. That's the only out there to get Gamble. Taylor to third. And Lindor reaches on the fielder's choice. So a ground ball that pulled Olsen way off the line at first. His momentum carrying him towards second. And Arcia, the shortstop, just didn't feel he could get enough of a throw to first to get Lindor, who legged it out. So Gamble out at second, 3-6. He's the first out. Again, Taylor is at third. So they're at the corners now for Jose Iglesias. Again, he's a great contact hitter. Can certainly drive in the run from third with a sac fly, but he also bounced into a double play in the first inning, which is what Lopez would love to doctor up right now.
And Lindor would have to be considered a threat to run from first, too, at some point.
Lopez's pitch. Iglesias pops it up on the infield. Olsen looking for it and makes the catch. Probably 10 feet up the first baseline on the grass. He found it. I tell you what, Travis d'Arnaud had no idea where that ball was. It was close enough where a catcher usually runs out there to make that kind of play. And Olsen, I was watching his body language. His head was going up and down, looking and wondering, where's Travis on this one? And by the time Olsen picked his head back up, he was in position to run in and make the catch. But Iglesias is 0 for 2. And here is Brandon Nimmo. No score, bottom 3. Lopez once again getting absolutely tough with guys on base. Spins and throws to first. Lindor dives back in safely. Taylor stays at third base. And as Howie mentioned just last inning, because the Mets have had guys in scoring position all day, Lopez is holding the league to a 104 batting average with runners in scoring position. That's what the Mets have right now. First pitch to Nimmo. Lindor breaks. Pitch taken for a strike. No throw to second. Lindor in standing. And so the Mets now have second and third. For Lindor, his 21st stolen base of the year. He's looking at again. 20 homer, 20 double, 20 steal type of year and counting. But more importantly for Lindor, he's in scoring position. Nimmo bounced out to shortstop his first time. Nimmo been scuffling lately. Next pitch, up and in, turns him in toward the catcher. Just 1 ball and 1 strike. Nimmo in the 9th inning last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. Mets were down 4. He had a 1-out single, but that snap was an 0 for 19. Looking to drive in 2 here with 2 out. Lopez is 1-1. Swing and a miss at a curve, and Nimmo down to a knee. And that's not the first time we've seen Lopez's curveball in particular garner a huge swing. Remember Lindor in that at bat, one of the first 2 pitches he saw, he took a big swing like that. Lindor at second, Taylor at third, 2 outs, 1-2. Nimmo shoots it foul to the left side and into the second deck. Well, that specific number for Lopez getting tougher with guys on base, you wonder if he's calling on his reliever characteristics. Remember, he's a starter this year, starting for the first time substantially in about 5 years. So once guys get on, he snaps into Reynaldo, the reliever, and he's been tough. The 1-2 to Nimmo. Bounced on the ground to the right side. Alvarez has it at second, flips to first in time, inning over. For the 3rd straight inning, the Mets have the leadoff man on, but fail to score. And we stay scoreless at Citi Field. Mets.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
TCNJ.edu. That's TCNJ.edu.
Fourth inning is sponsored by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today. Top of the fourth, Austin Riley leads off. David Peterson slings a first pitch fastball across the center of the plate for a called strike one. Riley, Ozuna, and Olsen. Tough little street here for Peterson to go down. 2, 3, and 4. The 0-1 up and in, missing against Riley right near his chest. Just 1 ball and 1 strike. Peterson so far so good. He's allowed just 1 Atlanta hit. That was to Austin Riley. The 1-1 here to Riley is inside, missing for ball 2. So 1 hit for Atlanta. Peterson with no walks, which is good for him, and 5 strikeouts, even better for him. Mets have had the traffic. 2-1. That's low. 3 balls and a strike. The Mets have left 3 men. They've also gone 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Sometimes for a game, you don't even have 6 chances with runners in scoring position. Mets have had that in the first 3 innings. The 3-1 clips the outside corner, a changeup. 3-2 on Riley. Marcell Ozuna is on deck. You'd hate to walk a batter ahead of an at-bat with Ozuna. But that batter happens to be Austin Riley. Very dangerous hitter and kind of a Mets killer. Peterson winds and fires the payoff. And it's outside with a changeup. He did walk him. And Riley is aboard. Now Peterson hoping to keep the good times rolling. Really, 9 starts, unbeaten, 5-0 with a 3.14 ERA. And what Peterson has done nicely, he hasn't really had to worry about that today. It's been more of the Reynaldo Lopez story, although that might be ending soon because the Braves have their bullpen up very strangely. Dylan Lee is throwing for Atlanta. First pitch to Marcell Ozuna, batting right-handed. Misses somewhere, a little up and away for ball 1. Now Lopez just got Nimmo to ground out. Didn't see anything to the naked eye to say that he was hurt. Here's the 1-0. Right down the middle with a fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike.
There's around 60 pitches in 3 innings. And again, we've talked about his workload relative to the last few years, but if they're monitoring and being careful with it, this is a strange time of the game to be doing it.
1-1 on the inside corner, strike 2. I would think more Braves fans right now are panicking than anything, seeing Lopez maybe not be heading back out for the 4th inning. And Spencer Strider's done for the year. Max Fried is on the injured list. Acuna is done for the year. Albies is hurt. Harris is hurt. Braves have been nothing but hurt this year. Runner at first, nobody out. 1-2 on Ozuna. Pitch. Slammed in the air down the right field line. It drops in for a base hit in front of McNeil. Riley to second. He stops there. So Ozuna hit it, but didn't leave the yard. It's a good thing against him. But the Braves now have first and second, and nobody out for Matt Olson.
Lopez is at 57 pitches through 3 innings, and I would think there would be something more along the lines of this being injury-related than anything else.
Now, Braves PR, sometimes teams will be able to do that mid-game, come out with an update. We'll be happy to provide that. But certainly a big development for Atlanta. So the lefty league continues to throw. Meanwhile, here's the lefty Matt Olson batting against southpaw David Peterson. First pitch, swing and a miss. Big hack at a slider, but he comes up empty for strike 1.
Could be sick, too. I mean, something could be bothering him. Might have eaten something bad. I mean, we don't know. We're just guessing, but it is odd that this early in the game they'd be making a move.
0-1 on Olson. Next toss. That's cracked in the sky. Deep to right field. Look out for this one. Second deck shot and halfway up the second deck down the right field line. Matt Olson flexing his old Olson power. Hits a 3-run bomb to right. And the Braves in the 4th inning strike first. It is 3-0 Atlanta on a 426-foot home run.
Halfway up the Coca-Cola corner.
That is hard to do. And Olson, who has not had the power trip as near as he did last year when he hit 50-plus, connects on number 15. But it's a big one against Peterson. I call that a cement mixer. That was a slider that stayed right over the middle of the plate. Here's Travis d'Arnaud, batting right-handed. Peterson winds and deals. Swing and a miss at a fastball, and the count 0-1.
It's amazing to look at where that ball wound up, Keith, and consider the Juan Soto once hit one beyond the back row of the Coca-Cola corner, closer to the wall of the kiosks they've got back there.
Here's the 0-1 to d'Arnaud. Strike on the outside corner, 0-2. We just saw Judge hit one at Fenway that went 470. You see Ohtani's home run last night?
Yes, I did.
I saw where it landed, and I said, this had to go 500 feet. It was only 433. 0-2, that's low to d'Arnaud, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, they just don't hit balls there.
No, not especially, yeah. I mean, up here, I went for a walk for a little pregame meal, and I went to the Coca-Cola corner. I think, this is far. Well, Olson went halfway up in the second deck. The 1-2 sprayed foul behind home plate, and it stays a ball and 2 strikes. So Peterson, again, that leadoff walk to Riley, never fun. Ozuna's near impossible to get out at all, and Olson this year struggling, but still very tough to face. 1-2 to d'Arnaud. Down and in with a changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And for Peterson, again, I mentioned the good times rolling. He has been able to be a little bit of a magician this year more than years past, being able to leave a lot of guys on base. In fact, more than he usually does. Couldn't do it here in this 4th inning. 2-2 pitch. Fouled away to the right side. There are, again, 10 million metrics you can look at to decipher what does this guy do better than somebody else. There's something called left on base percentage. Basically, how many guys do you leave on? 2-2 to d'Arnaud. Inside ball 3. Now Peterson for his career has left about 75% of the runners on, which is league average. This year, 85%. That little breadcrumb could show you 3-2. That's down low, ball 4. It's a breadcrumb that shows you, will that keep up? Will that trend last? And at least in this game, it's starting to even out and head back to the mean. So as d'Arnaud heads to first, Hefner heads out for a chat on the mound. We'll pause 10 seconds, station ID on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
When the Mets aren't playing, get everything you need to know every time you listen to WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2 New York.
Back at Citi Field with Howie Rose. My name is Keith Ratt. Top of the 4th inning. Braves 3, Mets nothing. Mets on their offensive side have left 3 and have gone 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And David Peterson had been doing great. 1 over the minimum before this inning. But in the inning, walk, single, 3-run homer, and now a walk. And Jeremy Hefner, the Mets' longtime pitching coach, out for a word. This is kind of similar to what Tyler McGill ran into yesterday. So here's Laureano batting right-handed. First toss off the plate, missing again with a sinker. Count 1-0 on Laureano. Remember yesterday? No score at all into the 4th, and then Tyler McGill had retired 11 in a row, gave up back-to-back homers. The 1-0 is off the catcher's glove to the backstop, and d'Arnaud can basically walk to second base. That's a wild pitch for David Peterson, who after a mound visit has missed badly here on the first 2 to Laureano. And now the Braves have another runner in scoring position, already up 3-0. Nobody up yet in that Mets bullpen. Peterson at 57 pitches, but he doesn't have anybody out in this 4th inning. 2-0. There's a strike on the inside corner, a changeup. That's 2-1. Laureano's 16th game with the Braves, started the year with Cleveland and then was released.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Chop foul at home plate. Ball and 2 strikes. One night, Diaz gave up a late ninth-inning home run to Jesse Winker of the Reds. Reds in the bottom of the ninth inning went out, got the last 3 outs, and Winker waved to Mets fans as he left the field. Well, that was night 1. Night 2, Diaz gives up another homer. You know who hit that home run to give the Reds the lead? Jose Iglesias, who's, of course, a New York Met now. 1-2 to Vientos. Bounces to the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And as Iglesias hits the home run, Reds are up. Diaz gives up a homer. Reds go back out to get the last 3 outs. There's a pop-up in the air, left field line. Winker slides onto the warning track, down the left field line, makes the catch to win the game, and waves again at the Mets fans who are right there at the sidewall. Vientos calls for time. It's a ball and 2 strikes on him. Bottom of the 4th. Atlanta 4, Mets nothing. 1 out, bases clear. McNeil on deck. Dylan Lee from the belt fires home. And the pitch rocketed up the gap in left center field. That's a base hit. Laureano sprints over, takes a bad angle, and the ball rolls to the wall. Vientos to second. Laureano gets to it and fires in. So Vientos with a double. And once again, the Mets have a runner in scoring position. The only question that remains is who's going to get the big hit to drive in the run. Well, Vientos got a fastball up and in and turned on it. And now McNeil bats. Mets again have been handed a few opportunities. Braves hit a 3-run home run, scored on a wild pitch to score 4 in the top of this inning. Mets looking to immediately answer. Lee set, fires to McNeil. Pitch bunted and redirected foul down the third base line near the Atlanta dugout. It's 0-1.
Jeff bunting for a base hit there. We don't see him do that very much.
They have the infield around to the right and deep. Third baseman Austin Riley is in. And Jeff, who has been a little bit of a home run hitter out of the All-Star break and has served a single and a double here and there, tried to go even smaller with that bunt attempt. The 0-1. Pulled foul toward the Met dugout first base side, and it's 0-2. So the Mets just gave Jesse Winker a cheer, not an ovation or anything like that. But did you see that Austin Hayes, the newest Philly, who was traded from Baltimore, he had a standing ovation before his at-bat in Philadelphia, which was unique. You really don't see that happen. It's not as if they needed a savior on the offense. 0-2, check swing, tap foul behind home plate. Stays 0-2. But what Hayes did, promptly singled up the middle. So pressure's on you, Winker, when you get a chance to get that first Mets at bat.
Well, remember, the Phillies fans are really feeling it because they gave Trey Turner all kinds of support last year when he was off to a brutal start, and finally gave him a standing ovation, and that turned the season around. Coincidence or not.
Runner at second, 1 out, 4-0 Atlanta. 0-2. McNeil grounds one foul up the first base line. He rolled over that ground ball. It stays 0-2. Now that it's only Sunday, but so many people have been on the move. And by the way, the trade piece for Jesse Winker was a Double-A pitcher, 6'8". You can't miss him if you tried. Tyler Stewart, who had been a top 30 Mets prospect, not the top pitching prospect, but down the list a little bit. He was at Double-A. 0-2. McNeil grounds it foul again. Again, the Mets have pretty good pitching prospects still. The number 1 guy this year, or at least the guy that's having the best year, the year
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
CentersHealthcare.com today or call us at 800-305-9151. Centers Healthcare. We're not just care. We are care that moves you.
Hey, Mets fans, when it comes to heating efficiency, Peerless Boilers and Pavilion tankless water heaters are in a league of their own, so go to peerlessboilers.com for more info. And remember, Peerless Boilers are the world's best built boilers. Braves 4, Mets nothing. We go to the 5th, Howie.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. Austin Riley leads off, right-hand batter. He's singled, walked, and scored. David Peterson stays on. His first pitch taken for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Peterson's pitch count, 76 through 4 innings, which is pretty high. It was a very rough fourth for him. And the 0-1 to Riley fouled off to the right and out of play. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And Alex Young stays up in the Mets bullpen, and I would imagine he'll be in for Matt Olson. Olson hit a 3-run homer off of Peterson. The 0-2 on the way. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. He got him with a slider. And so Peterson has his 6th strikeout. 1 man away, it brings up Marcell Ozuna, and I think just the fact that Alex Young is still up in the bullpen is the indicator that this will be Peterson's last batter. 5th inning is sponsored by ELEC 825, building our future. That's because the on-deck hitter, Matt Olson, is a left-handed hitter. First pitch, Ozuna takes a fastball outside for ball 1. As we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Outfield around towards right. The 1-0 to Ozuna, missed outside a changeup. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on the Braves' designated hitter. Each team with 4 hits, but boy, have the Mets hurt themselves. 2-0 on the way. On the outside corner, a slider, 2-1. Through 4 innings, the Mets have gone 0 for 8 with men in scoring position. That's not an easy thing to do. They've actually had the leadoff man on through the first 3. 2-1 on the way. Ozuna takes a called strike, the slider, and it's 2-2. Lindor led off with a single in the first, then was immediately eliminated on a double play. Alonso doubled to lead off the second. Same for Taylor to lead off the third. They couldn't move him. Here's the 2-2. Upstairs, a full count now to Ozuna. And then Vientos doubled with 1 out in the 4th inning. And all the Mets have with men in scoring position, crickets. 0 for 8. And it's 4-0 Atlanta. This will be a payoff pitch to Ozuna. And it's popped up. He had him reaching for a curveball, popped in the air to center field. Fairly deep, but playable. And Taylor makes the catch, 2 men away. So, we'll see what Carlos Mendoza does here. We're going to pause for station ID on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut's home for news, traffic, weather, and the Mets. This is WCBS and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Well, the Mets are going to push Peterson now with 2 out, nobody on. Olson, the left-hand hitter, takes high, ball 1. Again, Olson, a left-hand hitter. Peterson, a left-handed batter. But with Alex Young, the left-hander, up, you had to figure it was for Olson. The 1-0, squibbed foul off to the left of home plate. It's 1-1. But again, we've talked about the Mets not having the prototypical long man right now. And we're getting deeper into the game so that you don't necessarily need to fill that role. 2 out in the 5th inning. Here's the 1-1 to Olson. Swing and a miss. And a hard sinker in the count 1-2. And yet Young remains up in that Mets bullpen, but they've got right-hand hitters galore behind Olson. So it might just be about how far do you push Peterson. He's been over 100 pitches several times this year. He's at 87 now. Could get another inning. We'll see. The 1-2 waved at and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a slider. That retires the side, and maybe Peterson does buy another inning. Nothing across, middle of the 5th.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Is big time. Visit Optimum.com today.
Last of the 5th inning at Citi Field. Braves lead the Mets 4-0. The injury report is brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to injurylawyer.com and we'll incorporate the Braves into today's injury report because they just gave us the news that starting pitcher Reynaldo Lopez left as a precaution because of right forearm tightness. That's a ruh-roh right there. Tyrone Taylor leads off, takes a breaking ball low from Dylan Lee for ball 1. You hear forearm tightness, the first thing you think about is the elbow. That is often a precursor, or maybe an indicator would be a better word, of something going on with the elbow. The 1-0 to Taylor, pulled towards third, foul. They got out in front of a slider, and the count 1-1. So the Braves don't offer anything other than right forearm tightness, but given what that could portend, I would imagine they'll get some imaging there. As far as the Mets are concerned, Sean Reed Foley on the comeback trail as he is throwing a rehab outing this afternoon in the minor leagues. Here's the 1-1 to Taylor. Line towards third, over the head of Riley. Base hit, headed towards the left field corner. Williams after it. Taylor on his way to second, and he's in there standing with his second double of the game. And here we go again. The Mets 0 for 8 through 4 innings with men in scoring position. Now have had the leadoff man on in 4 of the 5 innings, and they'll look for their first hit in these spots, starting with Ben Gamel, the number 9. Here's the 1-0. Swing on a ground ball up the middle. Base. Laureano's throw, head first slide, and he's out. Out. Outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. So wouldn't you know it, that's how it's gone today. The Mets finally get a base hit with a man in scoring position, but it doesn't bring the run home, and that runner's thrown out at the plate. 0-1 to Lindor. Now the pitch. Swing and a foul back to the screen at a high slider, and it's 0-2. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Be sure to check out the famous Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey Bar in center field, where you can grab a game time mule or try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey. And
had kind of a close call send like he did there, but with the Mets struggling today, just I guess he was going for it.
Well, here's Iglesias now. The first pitch taken high, ball one. It's funny you mentioned that because I was just thinking, has there been a time this year that at least when I've been on the mic, I can remember any kind of a controversial send by Mike Sarbaugh. He's gotten it all right. But that time they rolled the dice and it didn't work. The 1-0 on the outside corner, a called strike, 1-1. And for Laureano, I suppose, a little bit of retribution after a rough night the other night when he overran the game-winning hit by McNeil, plus a base running mistake on a squeeze or imitation squeeze. The 1-1 Iglesias fouled off to the right and out of play downstairs. How would you describe that?
Little sushi play reference there, imitation crab instead of the real thing?
Something like that, yeah. Something like that, because you don't often hear of the hitter and the batter. Laureano calling, jogging in, makes the catch. That retires the side. So, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Term offer, terms apply.
Well, as it turns out, the Mets are not going to push David Peterson another inning. Travis d'Arnaud will lead off the sixth with Atlanta leading the Mets 4-0 against Alex Young, the left-hander who was up in the bullpen during the fourth inning as well as the fifth and threw an inning yesterday, giving up one hit, striking out two. Travis d'Arnaud was struck out and walked. And so Alex Young, the recently acquired lefty, delivers the first pitch, and it's pulled on the ground to third to his left. Vientos up with it, slings it over to first in time. One pitch, one man out. And it'll bring up Ramon Laureano, the center fielder. Mets center fielder today, Tyrone Taylor, has two doubles. Centers Healthcare want to remind you that they're not just care, they're care that moves you. Visit centershealthcare.com. Laureano has twice grounded to third, and he also threw out Taylor trying to score from second on a base hit by Gamble. First pitch to the right-hand batter, swung on and missed, 0-1. Laureano started the year with Cleveland. Then the Braves picked him up, and they brought him up after Michael Harris II injured his hamstring. The 0-1 taken outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. That was in mid-June, and they haven't seen Harris since. 1-1. Young delivers. Reached for and hit high in the air to left center field, pretty deep. Back on the warning track, Taylor, and he makes the catch. 2 men away. That was a breaking ball, and he had Laureano out in front. Laureano gave that ball a really good ride, considering how much of his power appeared to have been spent by being that far out in front.
And now that Taylor's in center instead of Harrison Bader, you kind of go off body language cues. And once Taylor got to the track and slowed down in his shoulder slump, you thought, oh, is he giving up on this ball? But all he was doing was cruising to the spot to make the catch.
Here's Nacho Alvarez, right-hand batter, takes the fastball for a called strike, 0-1. Some scores from the New York Lottery. Played is nubbed foul to the left of home plate. Orioles scored 6 runs in the third. Ryan Mountcastle and Cedric Mullins. Top of the fifth in Baltimore. 0-2 to Alvarez, taken outside and high, 1-2. Washington and St. Louis tied 2-2. Bottom of the fourth inning, William Contreras, his 13th home run for the Cardinals. 1-2. The pitch to Alvarez. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a changeup, side retired. First strikeout for Young. Braves go in order. Middle of the sixth. Atlanta 4, New York 0.
Burger, available for dine-in, takeout, or delivery at smashburger.com.
Last of the sixth inning at Citi Field, the Braves lead the Mets 4-0. It's moved along all right. The pace of the game brought to you by Optimum, with the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state and speeds up to 8 gig. Optimum, where local is big time. The Braves are going to hand off to their third pitcher of the day. Remember, the starter Reynaldo Lopez left after 3. The Braves say it's for precautionary reasons due to a right forearm tightness experienced by Lopez. So Dylan Lee went 2. And now Pierce Johnson, the right-hander, will face Brandon.
Put my hand in and I tried to close it. And I go, Dad, it won't close. He said, it's not supposed to close. It was just a big pad that you just received and absorbed the ball.
Yeah, they didn't wear them with, catch with one hand back then. 3-2 the count. Now the pitch. Alonso fouls it straight back. Those catcher's gloves were like cereal bowls. When you think about it.
That's right. I just remember, I was thinking my hand was too small. Maybe I'm too young to use this glove. I don't know. It doesn't close at all.
3-2 to Alonso. Pierce Johnson, the Braves pitcher, kicks and delivers. And a breaking ball in there. Strike 3 called. Alonso doesn't believe it. He went down to one knee as he started to walk towards first base and then heard the strike 3 call of Ryan Addington. I gotta tell you, from up here, it looked inside as well. Haven't seen it from the center field camera yet. We're situated behind home plate and watching the replay now. Oh, boy, is that a missed pitch. Up Addian, I think.
Yeah, it came back in, but it looked like it was closer to Alonso's elbow than it was the actual corner of the zone.
2 out, nobody on for Mark Vientos. Johnson's first pitch, breaking ball outside, ball 1. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Citi Field. You can buy and manage tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and more. 1-0 to Vientos. Now the pitch. And that's taken to the knees. A cut fastball, and it's 1-1. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Mets have out-hit the Braves 6-4, but Atlanta leading 4-0. 2 out, nobody on in the 6th. And the 1-1 to Vientos. Swing and a miss at a cutter away. And Pierce Johnson ahead of Vientos, 1-2. Mark doubled his last time up, also flied to left. And Vientos has taken his time out. A lot more cloud cover than we saw at the beginning of this game. 1-2. Now Johnson deals and misses outside with that cutter again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just a slight breeze blowing across from right to left right now. Nothing that should influence a ball hit in the air. 2-2. Johnson deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A curveball that broke down and away from the right-hand hitting Vientos. And that retires the side. 2 strikeouts for Pierce Johnson.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Discover our vivid fall colors and plan your getaway at visitspc.com. Let's shine.
Well, we go to the 7th inning. It's debut time for the Mets' newest reliever, the hirsute and hard-throwing right-hander Ryan Stanek. Makes his Mets debut facing Orlando Arcia, Luke Williams, and Adam Duvall as we go to the 7th inning, Keith.
So Ryan Stanek making the debut. Arcia bats from the right side. Atlanta has a 4-0 lead. All 4 came in the 4th inning. And the first pitch from Stanek is up and in with a sinker. And a count 1 ball and no strikes. Ryan Stanek wearing number 55 out there on the mound in that Mets pinstripe uniform. Long blonde hair, dirty blonde hair to the back of that blue hat. All the way down to his name on his jersey. Next pitch, a slider. Check swing, but Arcia did not go around. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. As we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Arcia has walked in 2 trips. Next pitch, driven in the air, deep left center field. This sends Gamble back. He looks up. It is gone. Off the wall, behind the party deck in left center field. Ryan Stanek's 3rd pitch as a New York Met is hit into the seats in left. Solo home run by Arcia. It is 5-0 Atlanta in the 7th. Now Arcia got a 2-0 heater right down the middle of the plate and put his whole body weight into that swing. Right past the 370 mark, off that back padded wall, right before you get to those higher seats in left field. So instead of the righty Luke Williams, Eddie Rosario will pinch hit. Rosario can go out there and play left field as well. Rosario was off to start the game because the Mets threw a lefty in there, David Peterson. So here he goes, hitting in the 7th. He's hit 10 home runs between the Braves and the Nationals. The first pitch from Stanek is over the outside corner for a called strike. So for Stanek, I'm sure that did not go according to plan. Mets are down now 5-0. Stanek ready to go, the 0-1. Grounded up the first baseline, a fair ball along the line. Alonso has it on the dirt, runs across the bag in time, one away. So Stanek, 33 years old, born in St. Louis. Reliever. But his postseason ERA, part of the reason why the Mets went and got him, is 2.70. Pitch to Duvall, hit him in the ribs. All right, this is certainly not one that you'd like in the office for Ryan Stanek, who has gone home run, ground out, hit by pitch. And let's pause 10 seconds, station ID on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
When the Mets aren't playing, get everything you need to know every time you listen to WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2 New York.
Alongside the Hall of Famer Howie Rose, my name is Keith Rad. 5-0 Atlanta in the top of the 7th. Ryan Stanek now has a runner at first with one out. The batter, Austin Riley. Stanek set from the belt. First pitch. Riley swings and it's a high fly to left. Gamble back to the track at the wall. Looks up. This one is gone over the party deck. It is now 7-0 Braves. Austin Riley now hits a 2-run home run. Ryan Stanek has given up 2 home runs to the first 4 batters that he's faced as a Met. And it is a touchdown lead here in the 7th for Atlanta. Now the Braves, again, they came into this series kind of emotionally limping in. Going one way, Mets going another. Mets won to jump ahead of them in the standings. Lost yesterday to fall behind them, and a chance to go for a split today for Atlanta. And they're up 7-0 in the 7th inning. Here's Ozuna. First pitch, wave and a miss and an elevated fastball. And the count 0-1. Ozuna today has reached on a fielder's choice. He's also singled. Officially 1 for 3. Stanek delivers. And misses down low with a splitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, when you go out and get a reliever, again, take this half inning and pretend it never happened. But when you go out and get a reliever, 1-1, he has popped up foul to the right. A lot of times it is stuff, not quite the results. And at the end of Ryan Stanek's tenure with Seattle, a team that's in the hunt, they moved Stanek. He had not pitched well the last couple of outings. Last 9, he had an ERA about 9.5. The Mets are hoping that he is able to right the ship. 1-2. Bouncing ball to shortstop. Lindor peels it off the dirt and fires across in time to get Ozuna 2 down. And so again, hoping Stanek will have better outings than this one here. And he has in his career many, many times. In fact, helped Houston win a World Series 2 years ago. But certainly no top dogs on the Mets side today. That is mostly on the Atlanta Braves side. I'll give the top dog to Matt Olson, who stands in now. Presented by the Farmer's Dog. Real food made fresh, delivered. 7-0 Atlanta. First pitch fastball is caught on a miss for strike 1. And giving Olson the top dog because he's the guy that put a dent on the scoreboard for the first time. It was 0-0 into the 4th, and Olson hit a 3-run shot. 0-1. Fouled straight back, a fastball, and it's 0-2. That was 98 from Ryan Stanek. He's got that good hard fastball, and the splitter, one of his many pitches that he uses to put guys away, and then a good slider. Not the start he was looking for in a Mets uniform. The 0-2, that's high and away with a fastball, ball and 2 strikes. Mets gave up their number 30 prospect and an outfielder named Ryland Thomas, who's more of a bat-to-ball contact hitter than a big 5-tool power hitter. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a high splitter, and the inning is over. Well, Ryan Stanek, again, not the start he was looking for in his Mets debut. Gives up 2 home runs. A solo shot by...
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Expert advice for both contractors and homeowners, like complimentary in-store color and design consultations. Rings End is proud to be New England's largest Benjamin Moore retailer, with 31 convenient locations as well as online shopping. No matter how big or small your project, we'll make sure you have everything you need to do it right with Benjamin Moore at Rings End. Your inspiration, our expertise.
We got to the bottom of the seventh inning now. Atlanta has a much bigger 7-0 lead. 4 in the fourth, 3 in the seventh. And so the Mets are chasing a touchdown here, bottom of the seventh. And in the inning, it'll be Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez, and Tyrone Taylor. A couple of changes for the Braves. The new left fielder is Eddie Rosario, who pinch hit for Luke Williams. So Rosario is in left. Everybody else stays the same. Laureano in center and Duvall in right. New pitcher, though, on for Atlanta is lefty A.J. Minter. And again, a little subplot of this game is that Reynaldo Lopez, the Atlanta starter, went just 3 innings. And in those 3 innings, the Mets had a chance to break through, left a couple of guys on base and had a lot of chances to drive those guys in. Couldn't do it. And then with Lopez leaving due to right forearm tightness, Ryan Snicker, who went is now gone with Dylan Lee, who went 2 scoreless. Here's Johnson, who went a scoreless inning, and now Minter. But there's one thing on the Mets side here is that when you have a game like this where you have a lot of relievers, everybody has to be really good. But now that the lead is 7-0, they don't have to be perfect. But the point remains is that the Braves will probably have another name or two out there to finish this game. So here's McNeil leading off. Minter lifts the leg slowly and fires. And McNeil sends a high fly foul down the first base line and into the seats. Jake Diekman warming up for the Mets to throw the top of the 8th. Obviously, Ryan Stanek, who just pitched that 7th inning, did not have a good first test as a student. Gave up 3 runs, including 2 home runs. 0-1. McNeil fouls it back, and it's 0-2. But go ahead, Matt.
Oh, sorry, Keith. I was just going to say, I think right now for the Braves and Brian Snicker, the object is don't feel the need to get Raisel Iglesias up because he's pitched in 2 of the first 3 of this series, and he is a great closer.
0-2 on McNeil. Alvarez and Taylor follow. Minter deals. The pitch served in the air. Shallow center now toward the infield dirt, to the edge of the dirt near second. Alvarez makes the catch. 1 away. Now, Madge found a list. And when Madge finds a list, we tell you about the list. 27 pitchers in Mets history who have given up home runs in their Mets debut. I guess it's now 28. But a couple names on this list turned out to have pretty good careers. Bartolo is on this list. Guys that gave up 2 home runs on day 1 as a Met. First pitch to Alvarez. That's line foul to the right and out of play. 5 of them, though, are relievers. So the majority of guys, as you would imagine, are starters. Guys like Daisuke Matsuzaka, who went 5 innings in his first start, gave up 2 home runs. That's a little more palatable than a reliever giving up 2 homers. 0-1. That's low with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Not if you had to watch Daisuke. That guy was slower than slow as a worker.
What did he throw? The gyro ball? That was the big pitch. Here's the 1-1 to Alvarez. Hit on the ground is short. Marcy to his right has it on the backhand. Straightens and throws out Alvarez. 2 down.
SNY once took a clock and they superimposed Daisuke's picture on it. And then they timed him between pitches. This is long before the pitch clock. Let's just say guys like Daisuke Matsuzaka are the reason we have a pitch clock.
Yeah, Daisuke would not have handled the 15-second pitch clock at all. Here's Tyrone Taylor. Mets chasing 7. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Nobody on, 2 outs. A.J. Minter, the lefty, deals to the righty Taylor. He swings and misses at a high fastball for strike 1. But the relievers, Paul Gibson, 1992, gave up a pair. Ryan Rose in 2001. And then a couple guys recently, Thomas Zapucki, Michael Givens, and R.J. Alvarez. Here's the 0-1 to Taylor. That's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, R.J. Alvarez, Michael Givens, Thomas Zapucki.
I feel like Rizzuto. When did the Mets have R.J. Alvarez? Holy cow, White. When did we get this guy?
That was 2 years ago.
I don't remember him.
2022, the 1-1. High and outside, 2 balls and a strike. He pitched in August of that year. Of course, that was just 2 years ago. August was not a great home stretch for the Mets, who ended up losing the division out to these Braves.
R.J. Alvarez? I have no recollection. I could tell you stuff from 1965.
The 2-1, check swing. He went around and went down to a knee, and it's 2-2. The first Met pitcher to ever give up 2 home runs in his Mets debut, you probably remember, Bill Graham. Game 1 of a double.
Well, I do. He was with the Mets.
1967.
Exactly.
2-2 on Taylor. Next toss. Fouled back on a high elevated fastball. It's 2-2. Well, Madge is letting us know that R.J. Alvarez, who did pitch for the Mets, was in and out in a hurry. That was the only game he had pitched that year for the Mets. I just remember the name because he had been around. He'd been in the Mets system for so long. I thought he had popped up a couple more times, but I guess not. 2-2 on Taylor. Minter leans back and fires. And a pitch fouled away.
Did he only pitch that 1 inning? Maybe I was in the bathroom.
That was a 2 1/3.
Well, even with my stomach, I wasn't in there that long.
2 1/3 in 2022. So has a Mets ERA of 11.5. He also pitched with San Diego and Oakland.
Never mind ERA. That's TMI.
Absolutely. The 2-2 is pulled foul down third. Now it's getting to that point, 7-0. We haven't quite heard any polka music yet, but I'm sure the night is young.
You're not going to get this material with Carton and Susan. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not getting involved with that one. 2-2 on Tyrone Taylor, who does have 2 doubles today. Pitch outside for ball 3. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Mets. 3-2 to Taylor. Inside, he walked him. So for Taylor in the 8th spot today, he's been on all 3 times. Mets still down big, and here is lefty Ben Gamel. The Mets will go to Atlanta for 3 more games at the very end of the year, which could turn out to be one of the biggest weeks of the season. I know it's a long way from now, but 3 with Atlanta, 3 with Milwaukee. Lefty to lefty. Minter fires home. Gamel takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Now Atlanta right now, top spot, San Diego number 2, Mets are number 3. That could all shuffle, and it probably will shuffle between now and the end of September. Minter's 0-1 to Gamel. Skied left field. Riley out from third. Into foul ground now. It's near the sidewall. He runs into the net. The ball is foul off the netting, and Riley went in hard. His belt hit the top of the sidewall. He's walking away now. Eddie Rosario comes over from left field to pat him on the back and make sure he's clean and good. Man, Riley went hard chasing that foul ball. It's 0-2 on Gamble.
Well, you could do that when you're approaching an area where it has that big netting. And I remember Jeff McNeil, we were in Chicago at whatever they call Comiskey Park these days, when he kind of went flying into the netting to make a catch in foul ground and bounced right back out.
7-0 Atlanta, the 0-2. Gamble takes strike three, elevated cutter, and the inning is over. So even though Riley could not make that catch, A.J. Minter does come back to get Gamble looking. No runs, one walk. And
not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Receive an exclusive pack of Mets trading cards. Follow @Topps on social media and visit topps.com/promotions for more information.
Well, I go to the eighth inning at Citi Field. The Mets are chasing 7. Atlanta comes back to the plate where they've hit some big home runs today. Olson's gone deep. Riley's gone deep. Arcia's gone deep. I feel like the Braves of old on a day like today, and Jake Diekman is going to try to stop him here in the 8th, Howie.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. Diekman pitched an inning on Friday night, gave up 2 hits and a run, and he will face Travis d'Arnaud, Ramon Laureano, and Nacho Alvarez here in the Atlanta half of the 8th inning. So Diekman becomes the 4th pitcher that the Mets have used today. And the left-hander deals to Travis. It's taken outside and high, ball 1. For Diekman, his 43rd appearance, 2-3 with a 5.23 earned run average. 1-0 to d'Arnaud, the pitch. Taken down and in, 2-0. So, the numbers aren't great with Diekman. It's been a struggle most of the time. But just as there was a memorable line in the movie Casablanca, we'll always have Paris, Jake Diekman will always have Judge. 2-0 on the way. Fastball outside, ball 3. I mean, really, if you were to, 5 years from now, if Jake Diekman goes on to have, more of an anonymous career with the Mets, if there's nothing that stands out between now and however long he's here. You mentioned Jake Diekman. Here's the 3-0 to d'Arnaud, right down the middle, a called strike, 3-1. I think a lot of Met fans are going to remember that confrontation with Aaron Judge at Yankee Stadium where he froze him in a situation where there was some consternation about whether to pitch to Judge, who was the winning run at the plate. The 3-1 fouled straight down, full count.
So all the lines in all the world, and you got to pick that one to describe Jake Diekman?
Nice. Well, Madge, we're rubbing off on this kid.
I do find it funny because we just look at that list of relievers, and some guys are anonymous. They don't really have a moment like that.
3-2 pitch. d'Arnaud fouls it off to the right and out of play. Exactly.
Yeah, R.J. Alvarez, Drew Gagnon. Fine human beings, fine men, but I don't know if Howie doesn't remember you.
Well,
I don't know.
I actually saw a Yankee broadcast once where Phil Rizzuto saw a guy on deck. 3-2 to Darno. Diekman deals, and a flare to right that's going to fall in front of McNeil for a base hit. And Travis d'Arnaud aboard with a leadoff single here in the 8th inning, 7-0 Atlanta, and it'll bring up Ramon Laureano. He's working with Bill White, and White mentions John Doe, whoever it was, in the on-deck circle. Rizzuto goes, who? And he looks out, he goes, hey, White, when we get this guy? That's how I feel about R.J. Alvarez, Drew Gagnon. Remember Jermaine Gagnon of the original Islanders. Ramon Laureano hits one in the air to deep left center, and this ball's going to go, and it is gone. A long 2-run homer over the Great Wall of Flushing for Ramon Laureano. His 3rd home run of the year, and the Braves have now taken a 9-0 lead here in this top half of the 8th inning. It is the 7th home run allowed in 31 innings by Jake Diekman this year, but he'll always have Judge.
That's just setting up for one of those type of days for the Mets, for Peterson, for Stanek, and now 2 batters in for Jake Diekman.
So, brings up Nacho Alvarez, who's 1 for 3. First pitch, fastball outside, ball 1.
Speaking of some movies, have you ever seen Nacho Libre?
Not that I can recall.
Oh, maybe. We got to get you going on a little Jack Black Nacho Libre. Dumb comedy, but it's a classic.
He's nuts, Jack Black. 1-0 taken for a called strike, 1-1.
Well, anyway, every once in a while you hit me with a Stripes or slap shot.
Yeah.
You got to see Nacho Libre.
You know what? Jack Black is so off the wall, I'd probably enjoy it.
All right, there you go.
I get it. 1-1 to Alvarez, taken for a called strike, 1-2. Although on my appointment viewing list for tonight, the continuation of the Pete Rose documentary, which I started to watch last night, which is on HBO Max. The first installment was great. The 1-2 taken outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, I think I asked you this maybe yesterday, but as you watched it and you've seen Pete's stories for years and years, it seems like it's fair. It lets Pete tell his story, and then they say, well, also he's a little bit of a liar, and it tells the truth at the same time.
Absolutely. Here's the 2-2 on the way. Alvarez takes a fastball on the inner half for a called strike 3. First strikeout for Diekman. 1 out top of the 8th, 9-0 Atlanta, and Orlando Arcia will be the batter. No, you know what? From my recollections, anytime HBO does stuff like that, it's not good. It's great. And after watching the first installment of the Pete Rose series, I think this one's going to be every bit as good as any of the others they've done. They do great, great work. Here's Arcia, and he takes outside ball 1.
First episode, not to give too much away, but Pete's talking about the 69. We're facing Tom Seaver on the way to the World Series, and the Mets weren't good, but they had Seaver.
Here's the 1-0. Taken on the inside corner, 1-1. Well, there was a bitterness about the Big Red Machine, which had not yet won the World Series in 1973, beaten by a Mets team in the National League Championship Series that had won just 82 games and lost 79. The 1-1 taken inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. This was long before wild cards, and it was just a fluke season, the likes of which, during the 4-division alignment, we'd never really seen a division that mediocre, where the Mets didn't even hit 500 until I believe it was around September 20th, if you can believe that. 2-1 pitch, that's driven in the air to pretty deep center. Taylor going back. Taylor onto the track, makes the one-hand catch, and there were 2 men away. But you could see where the Reds would be a little ticked off about that. But, yeah, the difference, the great equalizer, was that great Mets pitching staff. They used 3 starters in that series. They used Seaver, Matlack, and Kuzman, and the Reds just ran into too many arms. It's 2 out, nobody on for Eddie Rosario, grounded to first his first time up, batted for Luke Williams and stayed in the game in left field. Lefty, first pitch, taken for a called strike, 0-1. Some scores from Food Bazaar. Shop local, eat global with Food Bazaar Supermarket, foodbazaar.com. Cleveland 4, Philadelphia 3. They're in the bottom of the 8th in Philadelphia. What a year Stephen Kwan's had the go-ahead home run. The 0-1 in for a called strike. It's 0-2. That came off of Jose Alvarado, who engraved an invitation to the Mets to get back into the race. Remember that second game in London? The 0-2. Rosario dribbles it foul up the third base line. What a mess Alvarado made in that 9th inning. And the Mets took full advantage, held on to win in the bottom half, and that was a little bit of the ignition switch for the Mets when you go back to that early June matchup. Baltimore 6, San Diego 5 as they play the top of the 7th in Baltimore. 0-2 to Rosario, swung on and missed strike 3, got him with a sweeper, side retired. Dodgers lead the Astros 3-0, middle of the 6th. Here in the 8th, 2 runs, 2 hits, nobody left, middle of the 8th.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Spark Energy for $3 in the month of July. Fruit flavored, contains 0% fruit juice, caffeine from caffeine and guarana. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
With the Braves leading the Mets 9-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. A couple of things are going to happen here. First off, the Braves are going to hand the ball to a new pitcher, their 4th of the day, Jimmy Herget, a right-hander who's just off the IL. He had shoulder inflammation and missed 41 games. And Jesse Winker will make his Mets debut as a pinch hitter for Francisco Lindor. So the left-hander Jesse Winker, left-hand batter. And Herget's first pitch to him is taken right down the middle, a called strike, 0-1. Winker is 30 years old, hitting .257, 374 on base percentage, 11 homers, 45 RBIs. He has stolen 14 bases. The 0-1 to him, take it outside, 1-1. He's wearing uniform number 3, which is worn in memoriam on the shoulders of Mets players this year in memory of the late Bud Harrelson. Gosh, it hurts to say that. Here's the 1-1 to Winker. Breaking ball hit on the ground, foul up the first baseline. And the count 1-2. Jesse Winker was born in Buffalo. We're saying before the game his family moved to Florida when he was 7 years old. And the only thing he really remembers from Buffalo is that it made him a huge Buffalo Bills fan. A huge Bills fan. Asked him if he was a Sabres fan, too. Here's the 1-2 to Winker. Swinging a foul straight back out of play. He says, nah, he's a Bruins fan. I said, well, how'd that happen? He said, well, his father was a big Bruins fan because of number 4, Robert Gordon Orr. Bobby Orr. Maybe the greatest who ever laced up a pair of skates. He made a lot of people Bruins fans. Not this Ranger fan, but that's a whole other story. I idolized Bobby Orr. Anyway, 1-2 to Jesse Winker. Now the pitch. Swinging a pop foul straight back out of play. As I mentioned earlier, he knows a lot of the guys in the Mets clubhouse, playing travel ball with Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, and others from the Florida region. So he should fit in pretty well here. 1-2 to the left-hand batter. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a changeup. So Winker down on strikes. 1 up, 1 down. Jose Iglesias coming up. Braves pitchers have made it look easy today and yesterday for that matter. Mets shut out yesterday. They got nothing on the board today. Following the speed limit can be easy too. Vision Zero reminds you to slow down and watch for pedestrians and cyclists. So here's Iglesias. First pitch to the right-hand batter, poured in for a called strike, a fastball, and it's 0-1. Iglesias now 2 for his last 18. Little regression to the mean. The 0-1, a check swing roller up the first base line along the grass. Olsen has it, and even before he puts a tag on Iglesias, Iglesias kind of pats Olsen on the back. All of a sudden, it's Woodstock. 2 out, nobody on. We'll pause here for station ID on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
When the Mets aren't playing, get everything you need to know every time you listen to WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Howie Rose, Keith Rad with you at Citi Field. Braves 9, Mets nothing. 2 out, nobody on, bottom 8. Brandon Nimmo takes down and in for ball 1. Nimmo 0 for 3 today. He's the DH today. He's 1 for his last 23 and 5 for his last 48. He is in a deep slump. And the 1-0 on the way. Taken outside, a fastball, 2-0. Don't forget to stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show. Verizon, the network New York City relies on. 2-0 to Nimmo. Jimmy Herget deals. Swing and a foul straight down at home plate. 2-1. Jimmy likes strikes. Pete Alonso is on deck. You're a Seinfeld guy. You should appreciate that.
I've heard that once or twice. I do. I think that actor actually posted, I forget his name, he posted his residual check from Seinfeld.
Pitch to Nimmo outside, 3-1.
And I think it was like $900, which he gets maybe monthly, but he posted it, basically said, all right, once a month, here we go, it's celebration time. That's got to be great if you were just a character for one day on that show. Man.
3-1 to Nimmo. Taken outside, ball 4. Nimmo draws a 2-out walk. It'll bring up Pete Alonso. On the other side of that spectrum, right, my voice has been in a couple of movies as a baseball announcer. I mean, they weren't exactly elbowing their way into the theaters to see, what was it called, Smoke, I think? And
you don't even know?
Oh, it's not like I was a star or anything. You know, you make me the romantic lead, I'll remember the movie.
Yeah.
Smoke and Blue in the Face were the two films, as we say in the motion picture industry. Pitch to Alonso, a breaking ball, take it outside, ball 1. But I'll tell you what, I have gotten residual checks for less than it cost them to mail the check. I mean, literally like 6 cents, 7 cents. 1-0 to Alonso. Herget deals and a breaking ball over, a called strike, 1-1.
Yeah, Buck Showalter, when he was here, he would complain that the residual checks were low because the dues you have to pay to be in SAG-AFTRA were too high, and so he said, I'm losing money, haven't been in Seinfeld.
Just pay your dues, Buck. They pay for our health care. 1-1 to Alonso. Second baseman Alvarez way over towards the bag. And the 1-1 pitch hit high in the air, deep to left center. Laureano back, and there it goes. A home run for Pete Alonso over the Great Wall of Flushing, not too far from the batter's eye, which features the home run apple. And so the Mets, who were shut out yesterday, finally get on the board with 2 out in the 8th inning as Alonso hits his 21st home run of the year, and the Braves lead is now 9-2.
Well, that was a home run that snaps what turned out to be a total of 20 innings without a run for the Mets, which, again, where the Mets are right now, who they've been since the start of June, very, very rare to see that many zeros start to add up for the Mets offense. It was only a matter of time.
So here's Vientos, who's 1 for 3. And the first pitch by Herget, a breaking ball fouled straight back, 0-1. So the Mets with their first runs of the game, sponsored by Sloman's Home Security, real security, powered by real people. Sloman's, the difference is human. 9-2 Atlanta. Here's the 0-1 to Vientos, breaking ball, tap foul, rolling to the third base side. So it's 0-2. The Power Report, sponsored by Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura on Route 22 in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Home run number 137 for the Mets this year. The Dodgers started play today with 143, the only team in the National League with more, but they've hit 2. The 0-2 breaking ball is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Dodgers lead the Astros 3-2 in the top of the 7th, and they've gone deep twice today. 8 hits for the Braves, 7 for the Mets, 9-2 for the Atlantas. And the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 3. Vientos waves at the curveball, and that retires the side. 2 strikeouts for Herget, but 2 runs for the Mets on 1 hit.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
To the big leagues. Now we have even more accounts and services available, from simple savings to small business and commercial banking. Wherever you are in your financial journey, our talented bankers are here to help. And our technology is as helpful as our people. Stop by a branch or visit flagstar.com. Together, we can do great things. Flagstar Bank, let's align the stars. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Some changes for the Mets as we go to the 9th inning. They changed the score, but not nearly enough. Atlanta leading 9-2 as we start the 9th. First off, Adam Ottavino will take over on the mound to become the 5th pitcher that the Mets have used today. Jesse Winker, who batted for Lindor, stays in the game in left field. Ben Gamel moves to right. Jeff McNeil to second. Jose Iglesias to short. Adam Duvall leads off for Atlanta. Ottavino's first pitch, taken for a called strike, a cutter, and it's 0-1. Well, the Braves hit Duvall leadoff today. He's 0 for 3 and been hit by a pitch. But the Braves in front by 7, 9-2. And the 0-1 to Duvall, breaking ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Jake Diekman worked 1 inning. That was the 8th. Gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. The homer to Laureano. No walks, 2 strikeouts. 1-1 to Duvall. Swinging a bouncing ball foul along the third baseline. And the count 1-2. So the Minnesota Twins, as we said earlier, will be in here for 3. Only because the rules say they have to. I mean, they have to play each other for some reason. But anyway, yep, the Minnesota Twins are coming to Citi Field. Simeon Woods Richardson, a former Mets farmhand, will face Jose Quintana tomorrow at 7:10. 1-2 to Duvall. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a fastball. So Duvall down on strikes. One man away, and Austin Riley coming up. Tuesday night, Sean Manaea will face David Festa. And then on Wednesday afternoon, Luis Severino against Pablo Lopez, a former Marlin and a really good pitcher. And then we'll see you for most of August. Here's Riley. First pitch, breaking ball for a called strike. It's 0-1. Yeah, you got a point there.
The royal we.
Yes, the Mets will be on the West Coast twice during the month of August. Mets will be home for 9 games all month. Next year it'll be close to reversed. Here's the 0-1. Riley dribbles it foul off the end of his bat. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. Let's see, calling up next year's schedule here. The Mets will have a total of 9 games on the road next August.
Wow.
So, you know, the whole what goes around comes around stuff. I'm sorry, this schedule is just dopey. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
A bunch of teams did a schedule release. Mets did kind of a Mario Kart theme. The Giants, I like the way the San Francisco Giants did it. They had all their players try to draw the team logos from memory on a little dry erase board.
Here's the 1-2 off the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And then they'd turn around, they'd show their illustration of the camera, and then the Giants would plug in the dates or whatever. John Miller had to draw the Washington Nationals logo from memory on the dry erase board.
Here's the 2-2 to Riley. Did he do the curly W as Riley fouls it off?
He drew the smallest capital with the little triangle, and he wrote on the bottom, "This is what the logo looks like from our view in the booth." Because in Washington, of course, we're, all the way at the top, basically doing the game from the ceiling. But I got a kick out of John doing that.
He should have drawn home plate like that, because that's what it looks like to us in the booth there. Ottavino with a 2-2 to Riley. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a sinker, and Ottavino has struck out the first 2 here in the top of the 9th, with the Braves leading 9-2, and that'll bring up Marcell Ozuna. Thriving player of the game, brought to you by Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center. Saving lives drip by drip. Visit ThrivewellInfusion.com. Give it to Alonso for the Mets. He's got a home run, accounting for both of their runs. We do what we want with it, Here's Ozuna, and he takes off the outside corner from Ottavino for ball 1. Do you have any better ideas?
Not quite. But I will say Alex Young looked pretty good for that scoreless 6th inning.
Yeah, he did. Give him honorable mention. Here's the 1-0 to Ozuna. Swing and a miss at a cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Crowd is thinned out as the Braves have built their big lead. Made it 9-0 in the top of the 8th before Alonso's 2-run homer got the Mets on the board for the first time in the last 2 days. Sun has broken back out now after some mid-game heavy cloud cover. The 1-1 taken a little bit high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Getting the crowd figure from Madge. 26,916 the paid attendance today. 2-1. Now the pitch. Swinging a foul off the end of the bat. That'll settle into the seats downstairs behind first. And the count even 2-2 to Marcell Ozuna. Mets playing their 105th game, so when the Twins leave here and the Mets head out west, it'll be the exact 2/3 point of the season. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper past them out towards second. Alonso ranges far to his right, throws to the bag. Ottavino gets there, and Ozuna is out, and the side retired. Boy, Alonso and Ottavino put a lot of mileage on there. But the Braves go in order.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Its members and leadership have fought hard for wages and benefits that open the path to the middle class that every hardworking American deserves. Laborers Local 731. Feel the power.
Well, we go to the last of the ninth inning. It's the Braves 9, the Mets 2. Jimmy Herget likes the score. Jimmy stays on to pitch the bottom of the ninth. Jimmy facing Jeff McNeil. And the first pitch ripped in the air, foul down the right field line and out of play into the second deck. And the count 0-1. Don't forget to stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show. Verizon, the network New York City relies on. It'll be a busy next couple of days with that trade deadline on Tuesday at 6. The 0-1 grounded foul into and out of the Mets dugout on the first base side. I have a feeling that the Mets, and this is just not the most independent thought, I think you've probably had pretty well the same vibe. They're going to be looking to add a starting pitcher, I would think. The 0-2 to McNeil, breaking ball hit high in the air to right field and deep. Duval going back, moving along the warning track towards the foul pole, now makes the catch on the outfield grass just in front of the track. And that's the first out. It'll bring up Francisco Alvarez. And I think one thing to watch for in the next 48 hours is the fact that, a lot of your capital and your currency as a general manager is in your prospects. But most of the prospects in the Mets system were not brought in by this administration. Francisco Alvarez swings and fouls one into the mid of the catcher Darno for strike one. So it'll be interesting to see if the Mets deal from the level of prospects they have, the 0-1 waved at and missed 0-2, that may be valued differently than they were by the group that drafted them. I'll use Brett Beatty as an example. Brett Beatty was a first-round pick of the Mets. He has struggled at the big league level. The 0-2 breaking ball swung on and missed strike three. Alvarez down. 2 men away, the Mets down to their last out. Tyrone Taylor coming up, the third strikeout for Jimmy Herget. So, is Brett Beatty a guy who's in play if the Mets are looking for starting pitching help? I don't know. I'm just guessing and surmising that, if they want to play that chip, it might be easier for David Stearns and company to do it because they didn't draft him. Tyrone Taylor takes outside ball one. First-round draft picks get a lot of rope, generally.
It seems like that the untouchable side, if there is one, is on the pitching side at the top level of the Mets farm system.
1-0 to Taylor, a breaking ball in for a called strike. It's 1-1.
I know they dealt a minor league pitcher today, Tyler Stewart, who was in the Winker deal. That wasn't the top. I'd say guys like Brandon Sproat are probably off limits if you're looking for the future.
1-1, breaking ball swung on and missed. Now the Mets down to their last strike.
But if you're out there for a starter, maybe a couple of years of control instead of just a rental, then you do have to pay up, and that's when it gets a little pricey.
That's what I think. You rub your hands and say, this could be an interesting couple days. 1-2 to Taylor, swung on and missed strike three, and the ball game is over. He got him with a curve, 4 strikeouts for Herget, and after the Mets took the first 2 games of this series, the Braves come back to gain a split. As the Mets go down in order in the 9th inning, the final score this afternoon, the Atlanta Braves 9, and the New York Mets 2. Back to talk about it in a moment on the WCBS Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Play $10 million cash from the New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Pat McCarthy here, and I'd like to tell you about my alma mater, the College of New Jersey. At TCNJ, you get the best of both worlds. A top-notch education at a public college price point. TCNJ's faculty are partners in their students' success with courses